mistaken. Going up against a double team, Jeffrey Moore has open access to the bucket. Watch yourself on that normal replay of that last bit of action was Juan Fernandez actually wanting to dish off the aggressive pass to Jaworski. We're crossing the twilight zone. That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us.
At San Miguel, we believe in the Filipinos' potential to rise to our greatest challenges and support our collective aspirations for a better world. Malasakit is part of everything we do. We uplift the lives of generations of Filipinos. We are building a better world. Today, our efforts are focused on building a more resilient and globally competitive Philippines. For us, this means a nation with the necessary infrastructure to thrive in the global economy. A nation that enjoys energy security and food security. One that can attract the kind of investment that will create support projects that will generate economic vitality. A nation where prosperity is widely shared. We focus on industries on which the country's future depends, and we work to balance economic development with sustainability. This means protecting our natural resources and creating strong, cohesive communities where every Filipino has equal access to a better future. This means forging ahead with projects that will transform the Philippine economy and, more importantly, our communities.
I believe that San Miguel has the capability and heart to do it. The lesson we learned from the past offers so much potential for the present. They shape our sense of what's possible.
At San Miguel, our ambition comes from the hope of leaving a world that will be better for our children than the one we found. San Miguel Corporation, your world made better.
This is an eternity of basketball. We're powered by San Miguel Corporation, and we are part of the Globally Ballin Network. The most trending episodes on the YouTube channel of Globally Ballin. Don D. Roque is at number 1. Our episode last week. Imagine
Really?
he's surging right now. Former Alaska player Don D. Roque nasa number 1 ngayon, all the way down to Atoy ko. Keep watching. Which one's your favorite? And then globallyballin.com is the website to check out original articles, audio and video projects, and all the different shows on the network. And I'm Charlie Cuna together with Noel Zarate. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Sa araw na ito, episode 247 para sa AEOB. And, we're very happy because our guest today, he's been in some discussions lately because they're about to name soon the 10 players who are going to be added to the PBA's 40 greatest, and they're going to make it the 50 greatest. And I know he's right in the middle of all those discussions. He's a candidate to be named as one of the new players on that list. He was, many awards in his individual awards in his storied 16-year PBA career, bunch of championships as well, including a Grand Slam. And then he's still very active in the PBA world nowadays as a head coach of one of the teams. So, tama na. Too many things to talk about. So, we have to get right into it. Let's bring him in. Coach Jeff Joaquin Cariaso. Buti hindi JJ yung pangalan mo, no? Kasi Filipino, pag JJ dapat.
That really never, I've never heard that. I heard Jepoy, I heard, everything else but JJ. But, wow, Noel, Charlie, thank you for having me on. Wow, what a pleasure.
Yeah!
Hey, the honor is all ours, no?
I'm deeply honored. So thank you for the invitation.
I know you've watched the show a couple of times. You've commented a bit here and there, and well, now it's your turn to share your story. You grew up. I know you grew up in the States. I mean, you were born in the U.S., right?
Correct.
That's right.
Born
And this
in
is the Bay Area, somewhere in the Bay Area, yeah, San Francisco. And when you're in the States, baseball's America's game. You've got football. There's probably soccer as well. Of course, in the States they call it soccer. But why'd you get into basketball, Coach?
Wow, I think it stuck, and it seemed like that was the I was at best playing basketball compared to the other sports. You know how it is in the States. When you're playing there, it's by season. So I honestly played all sports. So from soccer to American football to baseball, and then basketball was just something that stuck all throughout high school. And I stuck with it. My third year in high school, that's when I said, okay, we're going to focus on basketball. And then I went from there.
What was your second? What was the other sport? Yeah, what's the other sport that you were really good at?
Oh, wow. Okay. In baseball, I think I was decent. I was a pitcher. I love playing shortstop, all the hot spots. Yeah. In American football, I was a wide receiver, believe it or not. So I apparently I could run, a little fast, and I had really good hands, and so I was a receiver then. But yeah, soccer was an awesome experience. I'll never regret doing that from grade 4 until 8, and I honestly believe that helped me in my footwork. That helped obviously in my basketball career. So yeah, I think all those sports helped me out somehow, some way, to make me the player that I was.
Athlete talaga. Sige, Noel, go.
I know. I never got to ask if you had any siblings. I mean, you and I have known each other for like decades already, but I never asked if you had any siblings, older or younger than you, that also got into basketball.
Actually, no. So I'm the kuya. So my sister, yung kapatid kong babae, she's a year younger than me. And then yung bunso namin, he's about 10 years younger. So he never really got into sports. He tried basketball a little bit. His name is Gil, and but no one really played basketball. But within the family, it was a staple. Growing up in the Bay Area, all my relatives are there, all my cousins. We would play basketball in the weekends, and it was really huge amongst the family.
And there's a huge Filipino basketball community in that area, right?
Oh yeah. You cannot compare. We always say Filipinos are everywhere, and we are especially in San Francisco. That's what it seems like, right?
Daly City. City, right? That's the Pinoy. That's the Manila of San Francisco.
Everyone knows that, and yeah, just that love and just it being around you so much, really helped also.
I have an experience in Daly City, Jeff. I just shared. I was crossing the street, and there was this white couple, elderly couple, came up to me and said, "Excuse me po, anong oras na?" And it's an American couple, and they said it really well. I had to wow, I'm in Daly City. So they adopted the language. Yeah.
Yeah. The joke there in Daly City, right? I think it's always foggy there, right? It's always foggy. It's always cloudy, and the reason why they say that is because there's so many Filipinos cooking rice. But I mean,
it's all the steam. It's all the steam. Yeah.
Huwag ka lang magluto ng tuyo. You get they call the police.
Baka may magreklamo na.
Kaya nga eh.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm looking at the people who are watching our show right now. Ramon Dizon is watching, former PBA player, and of course Felix Flores, a PBA pioneer, watching all the way from Iloilo. So, maraming salamat for watching. So you finally chose basketball as your main sport. Okay, how old were you at that time, Coach, when you finally said basketball is the one?
I would like to say 14 is where I made that focus to strictly basketball.
Okay, and what were you? Were you a point guard? Point guard.
Before that, from grade 4, starting grade 4, we played everything. Lahat ng sports we played. So it wasn't until my junior year in high school where I just focused on basketball.
Tapos anong laro mo nun? Point guard ka ba nun? Were you an off guard?
For sure, a guard. I was probably already an off guard. Yeah. So there was always someone who would, you know, do the duties of bringing the ball down and sharing the ball. But I would say always the wing, 2, 3, depending on the size of the
Okay.
teams.
Someone's saying hello to you. Check out the comment at the bottom of the
El
screen.
Oh,
Guerrero.
Yes. Nice to see you, Baya. Thank you. Thank you. Long time no see.
He won't be the last one for sure. So
Yeah.
guardia ka doon. And you were playing, I mean, obviously not just the Filipino tournaments, Filipino leagues. You're playing with all these Americans and all of that. And obviously that helped, no? Because playing against much bigger guys and quicker players, right?
Yung tanong ko nga dyan, Charlie, is sino yung mga kababata mo who eventually grew with you in basketball na nakita rin kayo sa Pilipinas eventually? When you were young, you're playing with these guys, then you bump into them in the Philippines or you travel with them to the Philippines. May mga ganon?
Right.
May nakasabayan ka ba?
To be honest, Noel, I can't say there was a lot there. You know, I would, you know, I don't want to say I was the pioneer or I'm the older guy, but to be honest, growing up during that time, although we played in a lot of Filipino leagues, all throughout the Bay Area, as you know, go all the way to Vegas and LA, there wasn't anyone going out to the Philippines at that time. So hindi pa siya uso at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ryan Reyes must have been one of the first, right?
Say it again, sorry.
Ryan Reyes might have been one of the first guys to actually play in the PBA when you were growing up.
Right. But he was after me.
Pagkatapos naman si
after me. So a lot of those guys I wasn't able to play against. You know, aside from the ones who I played with. I guess to answer your question, there is one. His name is Frank McKinney. Not sure if you guys remember him. So he was on my team that we played, that Fil-Am team that came in, and he stayed here. He stayed here, played in the PBL. He's half Filipino, half black. The rules weren't as strict at the time, but what happened, unfortunately, was his last PBL conference was an import conference. So ginawa ng team niya in the PBL was they said, you know what, we won't get an import, we'll just use you as our import. We'll give you more money. And then I guess that's their way of also saving. But because of that move, what happened was he was labeled as an import and not a Fil-Am, and he wasn't able to win the draft.
Okay.
Pero kompleto yung papeles. Kompleto yung papeles niya.
So at the time they weren't asking for all the paperwork. You know, so that then it became a conflict, and yun nga, hindi siya nakapag-draft.
Okay. So parang technicality naging problema niya. Okay.
Yeah. Sayang na eh. That was but Frank McKinney, rest his soul, he's in heaven now. But yeah, he's probably the closest guy, or the only guy that I really played with that was out here really trying. Yeah.
When you say you settled for basketball already in high school, about 14 years old, that was at Mission High.
That was at Mission High School, correct?
Okay.
Correct.
So you started playing there, and then were there any was there any chance to play eventually from high school to go to Division I? Was that ever something in your head that you might?
To be honest with you, Charlie, no.
Okay.
I really felt like, although I think I had a decent high school career, I felt Division I or D1 was really just too much for me. So I wasn't striving for Division I, but you know, I can't say enough about just the continuous playing. I mean, aside from high school, we were playing everywhere, like I said. So basketball brought me all over the states, especially all over California. Yeah.
Right. And so how did you end up at Sonoma State?
So Sonoma, the head coach there was a good friend of my head coach at Mission High School.
Okay.
And he gave the recommendation. And Sonoma is a Division II school.
Right.
So you know, like I said, I think at that point we understood already, you know, what talent is needed to be able to play at that level, to be able to play at a D1 level, and we weren't D1 material. So I'm going to be honest with that. So we're like, okay, let me see if I could just play somewhere, either a JUCO or even a Division II or even Division III. But it worked out because he was able to speak to his friend at Sonoma State, the head coach there. And then I got on board and played for about 3 years there before going to the Philippines.
That's
Okay.
right. So
I wanted to ask you because I know a few players who have like not so usual jump shots, and you're one of them. Did you how did you develop that shot? Did anybody coach you when they saw that your form was like that? Like I was always curious about your jump shot.
Yeah, it was, early in my career, Noel, we could say my jump shot was broken.
That's a good way to
So
put
it,
it.
it wasn't your unusual. I really didn't have a shooting coach like you do now. It's funny because I teach a lot of kids now, and I make an emphasis on form shooting, but no one really gave me tips. So I kind of got used to that shot until I got to the PBA and really worked on it. It wasn't until I got to the PBA. You know me, my first couple of years, people know me as slashing and getting to the cup and transition, one-on-one, stuff like that. But not really a shooter. I had to develop that. And I think, my blessing is because I worked so hard, I was able to last, 15 years, and it was needed. It was a necessity for me to have a shot from the outside, or else you're not going to last in the PBA.
Right. So when you did start doing that jump shot, that was the form that came out, and you stuck
That
with
was like, I don't know. It was like twitch, and people still copy it to this day and kind of joke around my former teammates. And then I always say,
No, I tried it. I tried it a couple of times. I'm gonna shoot like Jeff.
yeah.
I'm gonna shoot on the way down. I can't do it.
I always say, as long as it goes in,
it. Exactly.
I don't care how it looks.
Yeah.
That's what John Wooden said when he saw Jamal Wilkes. That
Right.
shot.
Oh yeah.
But everything was going in, so
Right,
they're gonna take it.
Mas
So
pangit
you-
naman yung tira ni Jamal Wilkes, no?
That's one of the worst
iba
ones
yun, iba
ever.
yun. Yeah, iba talaga
It's him and
paikot
Sean
yun.
Marion. You compare Jamal
Sean
Wilkes and Sean
Marion,
Marion. Those are
Correct.
two of the worst shots I've ever seen.
That's right. Reggie Miller too. Reggie Miller's got that.
Right.
He was one of the best ever. So you're playing at Sonoma State. How did the idea first come? I mean, what's the next step after university, right? So are you gonna go pro? Where are you gonna play?
Yeah.
And then eventually it leads you to the Philippines. How did that whole? What's the whole story behind that?
During my stint in Sonoma, I was very active in playing, like I said, in all the Filipino leagues.
Right.
There was a lot. That was our version of the AAU now, no?
Mm-hmm.
So we would travel everywhere to play, like I said. So by that time, we knew the teams that was in it. So a lot, I played against a lot of the guys that you would see in almost all the tournaments. And it was really after my second year while I was at Sonoma State, where the summer in between, they were forming a team to come to the Philippines. Apparently, It was always been the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So names like Eddie Joe Chavez. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Of
I
course.
remember. Yeah.
Him and Frank McKinney was on that. Terrence Mullins, who played for Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys. I have to give a shout out to Marvin Quebec, who I had dinner with last night. He just happened to be here. But those guys were apparently, they've been planning to come to the Philippines. And finally, it was going to happen. So to make a long story short, there was a tryout for that team. I made that team. I was the youngest one. And then we planned the trip a few months later to come to the Philippines. And we played here as a guest team in the PBL.
Okay. But what's it? So you made that team. You came to play in the PBL.
Right.
But in your mind, was it an opportunity already that could lead you to play in the PBA? Was that something you were thinking about already? Or no, it was just a one-time thing you thought maybe to play for that team, and then you weren't thinking, beyond that?
I'd like to say, Charlie, I think it's a combination of both. No? So once we got here, I really didn't know what to expect. All I knew from my dad and my uncles was the Philippines, there's a love for basketball in the Philippines, and you will be challenged. So when you go there, be ready to play. So yun yung paalala ng dad ko sa akin. So when I came here, again, to no surprise, players are awesome, good players. But I've always felt that, especially during the course of that tournament, that, hey, you know what, I think I can play here.
Mhm.
I think I might be able to try it out. So I think that's where that storyline started to come up. Once we got here, we got to play against all the good players. The confidence started to build, and then the interest started to grow also.
Noel, I think we
Yeah.
should enter the time capsule.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I
That's
think
right.
I've
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
enter
make one
the
Yeah.
yeah, we're enter the first segment of our show.
Uh-oh.
It's called the time capsule. Take you back in time with the photos that we have from your career. Let's look at photo number 1, Aaron. There you go.
Holy
No?
cow.
Can you tell us about this photo? Because I asked you about it. I said, what
Yeah.
team is this? I can't really read what it says on the jerseys. It's a bit blurred. Sorry, everyone, but this is the
Right.
best we could do. But can you tell us about this and when was this?
Those are
Right.
wide
To
dudes.
be honest,
They're wide dudes.
that was that was the main team I played for, and they're called the Runners.
Okay, runners.
The
that's what it
Runners.
says.
So the guy at the bottom left is my first cousin Bert, and he's the one who kind of put the team together amongst friends. And all those guys there played with many Filipino tournaments with in the Bay Area. I'm sure you're familiar with the guy in the far left. That's Jho Fish.
Oh yeah,
So-
he's
Yeah,
watching right
yeah.
now.
He
Our
keeps
friend
He's
watching.
watching, Joe, So that's perfect. That's perfect that you put up this picture. But he was our kuya on this team, to be honest.
Damn, I didn't recognize Joe actually when I saw.
Yeah.
Okay, that's him.
Yeah. So to be honest
Now,
with you, this tournament is in Delano, California, where
Mhm.
there's a lot of Filipinos also. But that's a great picture.
That's exactly what he
This
said.
is this does not
Right.
Jeff. This does not look like a basketball team. This looks like a rugby team, and looks like you're gonna do
That's
the haka
it,
in
that's
a
it.
few
They look like
moments.
the blacks, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
New
that's the
Zealand,
all.
right
That's
there.
the All Blacks right there. Yeah, you're gonna do the haka.
And you're the tallest player on this team, coach. So it wasn't a
Right.
pretty tall team, right?
Right. So it wasn't. So again, Filipino leagues. I don't think there was a limit in height, but the average was about like what you're looking at. And we were called the Runners, and we ran.
And were you the top scorer for this team?
I think I was a few times. I mean, at this point, the competitiveness started to come out, and you like the challenge of playing this particular tournament. Why it's nice and challenging is because although it's closer to LA, there's a lot of teams from LA and there's a lot of teams from the Bay Area that come to that tournament.
Okay.
So it's really a good one. So really fun.
All right, here's another curious question. I'm seeing you're wearing 22 already as early as now.
Already.
What is it with 22?
Right.
I don't know. I think it's stuck. To be honest with you, to be honest, I've had different reasons throughout my career. One reason is my dad's birthday is on the 22nd, so I've said that a couple times. One reason you're gonna laugh and excuse what I'm about to say, but I used to have this confidence. And I used to say, I'm just one step lower than Jordan. Just one step.
I thought of that. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
That makes sense.
But that's the joke. That's the joking, whatever. You know what I'm saying. But no. And then the other one that I use, and I think this is the reason why. As your talent starts to grow, right, and you start to gain confidence, and you start, all the teams you play for, you start to do well. I realized that my personal game, what I was good at, was really both sides, right? I love, like I said, I love defending, and I love being the top scorer on offense. So I always say 22 is double trouble. So double trouble where I'm gonna defend you, and I'm gonna do my best in trying to stop you. At the same time, I'm gonna do my best on offense. So.
Right.
So maybe that makes more sense.
Which is your favorite one?
Probably the last one. Yeah, I don't want to say the second.
Okay.
No, and that does make a lot of sense, Coach. That
Say it
makes a
again.
lot of sense because you are really one of the best two-way players in
You're
PGA
right.
history.
You're
So
right. I totally agree. I totally agree.
I will
Thank
agree
you,
with that.
guys.
So you guys, you played in that PBL tournament. Was that the first time you came over to the Philippines, or had you visited a few times prior?
No, that was the first time. That was the
Okay.
first
Wow.
time. So when we came over, shout out to Atlanta Pipes. They were our sponsors
Yeah.
here. So their office is in Green Hills, Annapolis, or it used to be. And we were called the Atlanta Pipes Fil-Am team. So people thought we were all from Atlanta. We're like, no, we're from the Bay Area. Atlanta is our local. But yeah,
it's the pipes. It's the pipes that were from Atlanta, not the players.
True.
How did you do in that tournament? How did you guys fare?
To be honest, I think man, I'm not gonna lie. I can't remember the exact record, but I don't think we did too well.
Okay.
So we had teams like Triple V, with Noli and them. I think Johnny played for that team, right?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he and Vic Pablo.
The only team that I remember us winning was JC. I can't remember.
Sino players done?
Artex, something like that. Anyway, so it was a while ago. I remember us winning the last couple games in the tournament, and we felt a little better because really we were getting our butts kicked.
Among the Fil-Ams that you were there with, who stayed in the Philippines? Wala, ikaw lang.
So ako lang naiwan, but I did go home for a second, then I came back. So I'm the one who stayed, and then eventually a year later, Frank McKinney came over.
Okay, Frank McKinney. Okay. So immediately, you left. You after the tournament, you went back to the States, but you immediately came back. Is that because one of the teams recruited you, or you were in negotiations?
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, a school, Charlie. So
let's talk about that.
Get this. I was supposed to play for LaSalle.
Okay.
I was supposed to be an archer. And, I came back. The head coach at the time was Gabby Velasco, Coach Gabby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was the one that was talking to me before, during that tournament while we were here. Things worked out. He gave me a call, said, come over. It's a good time to come. So I did. When I got here, I was practicing at LaSalle for about 2 weeks. And I was curious on why Gabby wasn't at, Coach Gabby, wasn't at practice. Sabi ko, ba't wala si Coach Gabby? Hindi ko siya nakikita. So I guess they wanted to go another route. And that's when eventually he was replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem there, and to this day, I said I'd like to ask him is how come I wasn't endorsed to the proper,
the new guy,
or the people at LaSalle.
Sino kapalit niya?
Good question.
Was it Jones?
What was it, Virgil?
Yeah, I think it was Coach Jong. I think
Okay.
That was 93.
93, yeah.
93.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he didn't endorse me, and I was honestly on my way back home. So there's my brother saying hi.
Yeah,
what's up, buddy? Yeah.
Oh, Sid's telling us. Sid's watching. He says it was Virgil.
It was Virgil. Yeah, I was thinking it was Virgil already. Yeah.
Virgil, yeah. So I wasn't endorsed. I don't know for what reason, and I was kind of just kind of left there, and I was, to continue with the story, I was on my way home, and I'm staying with my cousin in Mandaluyong, and I see at the at the back of one of the tabloids, I think it was, I always remember the tabloid, I forgot this time, but anyway, in the tabloid in the back is the sports, and it's like one page, and at the bottom right corner, it says there, Nikon to join the PBL, tryouts in Dumlao Gym in Mandaluyong.
Yeah, okay.
Which is close.
Always
so
there.
Sabi ng pinsan ko, lapit lang dito, let's go.
Yeah.
So, that's another story.
Let's go to the next photo, Aaron.
Hey,
Because you mentioned Nikon.
I just popped in, by the way.
Oh, I am?
Yeah, she just said, hi, Dad.
Yeah.
And then your brother says that Maria and the kids are watching as well.
Nice. Hi, everyone. Miss you guys.
Everybody's watching. And then that team that you beat, of course, James T is the guy who tells us that the team was JCT Evertex and EJ File was part of that team.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, James.
Right?
Thank you, James.
James knows all of that. So here you are. So you did go to the tryouts for Nikon. Obviously, they got you because there you are in a picture with the Nikon team.
Yeah, with Freddie Halasco too. Freddie Halasco is like Was he BAP at the time, or was he with Nikon?
I think he was with us. Gosh. No, I don't think he was. I think he was just part of the league, right? Did he have a position on the?
Yeah, wasn't
in
he commissioner or something of
yeah,
the league?
something
He was
like
something.
that.
Yeah, okay,
unofficial.
okay.
So I'm looking at you there. That's Coach Orly Castello. His
Correct.
brother Ed Castello, who's my fraternity brother. And then some of the other guys that I'm seeing are Udoy Belmonte, Jing Ruiz,
That's Jing Ruiz. Yeah.
Ray Evangelista. Who else do you remember
Yeah.
from this team?
Merwin Costello's there.
Noli.
Far right.
Noli
Right.
Martin.
Is that the?
Bill Urias, the point guard.
Yeah,
middle.
Vernie. Yeah, there's Vernie.
Next
Chris
to
Bolado?
Nenny, I forgot Nenny's last name, but next to who else is there?
Is that Chris Bolado in the back?
Yeah,
That
that's
is Chris.
Jumbo. Yeah, that's
No,
Jumbo.
Chris Bolado. Yeah, that's him in the far back. Correct.
Yeah,
And then
behind
Noli
Evangelista
Ray
and Noli.
Evangelista.
Right.
Yeah.
And Paul Du. That's Paul Du right
Paul
Good
Du.
choice. Yes.
Then
good
who's next
choice.
to Paul? Who's next to Paul Du? To Paul Du's left.
there. That's gosh, he's gonna kill me. Iliagas. Yagas.
No. Armon Liagas.
Armoni Liagas. Oh.
Yeah, Armon.
Armoni. Yeah.
Okay.
Funny dude.
Yeah.
Funny
I believe
dude.
he passed away already, by the way. Armon Liagas, I believe he passed away already.
Did he?
Well,
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry to hear. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Who's the skinny guy who played for InstaFood? So in Nikon was first, and then later on was InstaFood, right?
Yeah, now yung Nikon, and then InstaFood
Yeah.
was my last PBL conference, my last PBL team before the PBA draft.
Right. So but and obviously there was success in your PBL career. But what was your impression of the PBL? Did it make you think that I can really play? Because you said you were thinking maybe I can play here when you were a guest team.
Yeah.
Then now you're playing in the actual PBL with a competitive
Right.
team like Nikon. Are you saying like, what? I can take on these guys? What's the confidence level? Where was it?
I think Charlie, that's what happened there. I think everyone that leads up to making the pros, there's a time or a moment where there's just confidence that's built, and I think that's what happened there. I had wonderful teammates who helped me honestly with the adjustment of just living in the Philippines. Obviously born and raised in the States. Being able to just adjust to how things are in the Philippines, and it could be the most basic things of not having water in Capitolio or
That's true. That's true.
Di ba dati Noel walang tubig sa Capitolio
Kailangan matutong kung maligo na nakatabo in
Right.
Capitolio.
Yes.
Right.
Balde, Tabo, yeah.
Which is
Oh,
ironic because Capitolio is
yeah,
right next to the Pasig River. There's all the water, and we can't get any water in Capitolio.
Correct. So those things, but you get through that. I think that was part of my journey, and I think God was just testing me to see if I really how bad I wanted basketball, and you get through that, and you look back now, and I think not to sound dramatic, but that did make you a better and a stronger person, and then you appreciate
pretty sure,
things more. And you just keep moving.
You were a new guy in a new place, and then that's always a challenge, I suppose. We've
That
heard
was the
that from a
time,
lot of the
the
guys.
time Jeff was in the Philippines, uso pa brownout nun.
Yeah,
Totoo yun, yeah.
yeah. Rotating
It's like-
brownouts.
That's
Early
a bad
90s.
time to be a new person in the Philippines, man. You got no water, you got
Right.
no electricity.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
lots of support. Coach, we forgot to ask this earlier. Who were your idols growing up,
Yeah.
basketball-wise? I mean, I'm pretty sure you had no PBA idols because you weren't familiar
Right.
with the PBA. But in the States, I'm pretty sure you had some.
Yeah, no. Honestly, my dad he loved watching Magic Johnson, and he had me watch him closely. And so when asked this question, I always say Magic Johnson, even if I'm from the Bay Area. Obviously, watching the Warriors growing up, it was still during the dark years when I was watching as a kid.
Precisely.
But to be honest with you, Magic was probably the number one idol and guy I looked up to, only because of just what he could do on the court, right? The variety of things that he could do on the court, and really just the idea of him making his teammates better. I think that's phenomenal, and he's someone I look up to because of that.
No, it's funny you
Okay.
mentioned that because I remember broadcasting you one game. You were still with Tanduay. You led a three on two, and you came down the lane like magic, and then you dished a no look pass to somebody. I don't remember, but I actually mentioned that looked like a Magic Johnson breakaway. That was a
Really?
Showtime pass by Jeff Cariaso or something like that. I think I said that, but it really looked familiar. The way you brought the ball down for somebody
Right,
your size, right?
right, right,
You
right,
saw it. We
right.
saw, we
So
saw the Magic
it's
Johnson.
I can't say I
Yeah,
played anything close like him, but yeah, he was an inspiration.
No,
That's
I'm
true.
sure
yeah,
there were flashes. I'm sure. If you watch a guy
yeah,
enough,
yeah,
you
yeah.
try to mirror how he plays. Let's look at the next photo, Aaron. I know that it's also from the PABL of PBL.
Mm,
Yeah,
Still
here's
Nikon.
another one.
Yeah,
It's a black and white one, still the same team, but a different situation. Were you
yeah.
champions here? Was this a championship trophy?
I think
that's
it
a big ass
was because
trophy.
remember Nikon, we won in our Cinderella conference. We
Yeah.
won in our
Okay.
Cinderella conference.
Hmm.
So that first ever conference, and the studs on our team was the two guys who went ahead in the PBA a year ahead of me, which was Noli Locsin and Ray Evangelista.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the two guys.
those
Okay.
guys are just studs, and we know the careers that they had in the PBA. So Jing Ruiz was our veteran who, at that point, bumaba na siya from the PBA, galing na
Right,
siyang PBA.
right.
So he played for
Nag-shell na siya.
Shell.
Mhm.
Right, and he was an important mentor for me here in the Philippines during that time. Even my first couple of years when I was in the PBA, and then everyone else I think there had a taste or was at least drafted in the PBA.
Yeah, looks like it. Looks
Very,
like it.
very strong team. Yeah.
Here's a question, Coach. You grew up playing in the States, honed your skills over there. Then you come over here, and now you're playing semi-pro ball in the Philippines with the PBL. Is there a Filipino brand of basketball that you had to
There
learn?
is. Yeah, there is. There is. Um, where I always say, and I joke around, and you're like, oh, Pinoy, Pinoy, like that, in the way you shoot is really our skills underneath the basket, where you play. I don't want to say below the rim, but it is below the rim, and just your way of making the ball hit the board. Yung pectos na ginagamit
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to me, that's Pinoy. I mean, you don't see that a lot in the States. I mean, you'll see all this, but they'll jump from one side and go to the other, right? Because they're so athletic. But just the idea of being able to use your yung pectos natin, on your left and right is what I describe
Yeah,
as
you're right.
Yeah, those,
Filipino.
yan yung mga
And
ginagawa ng mga
innately,
undergoal, the
oh,
undergoal
Right.
masters.
innately we
Exactly.
learned that.
Yeah. Undergo
Ah,
stab. Exactly.
Mga
yeah.
Ray Lazaro, Abit Gutierrez yan, di ba?
Danny Florencio.
Danny
Danny Florencio
Florencio,
yan.
siyempre.
Right.
Di ba?
Right. That's how. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I would describe it.
And it was successful because you were even an MVP of one of the tournaments in the PBL.
Yeah,
So obviously
94.
the pros were looking at you already, and back then, I mean, I guess your papers were in order anyway, or they weren't even
Actually, I
asking
just
for
want to add,
papers.
Charlie. You say
Yeah,
94, diba? That was like a year. I actually met Jeff in 94 when he was in Capitolio. And I remember you and I having conversation because you were trying out for the national team in
Correct.
right.
94.
Correct.
And you were
Yeah.
one of the last guys cut. You, Dennis Espino, and a couple of others got cut.
Correct.
And we were talking about that, Jeff. I just want you to share what you were going through at the time because it made you unsure of what the next step would be.
Right. That was that opportunity there, and the invitation to join San Miguel, because during that time, 94 Asian Games was coming up, and they decided that the winner of the All Filipino would great picture. That's
a
going to be
great
in my
picture.
cave in a few months. Um, um, the winner of the All Filipino that year in the PBA would be the representative of the Philippines in this year's Asian Games. So San Miguel won it, and what they wanted to do was add 5, and invite 5 PBL players, and these are the 5 that you're looking at that they invited.
Mhm.
And I don't want to say to boost the San Miguel team; they're the pro team, we're the amateurs, but just to possibly have young legs and be able to hopefully make the team. So what happened there was EJ, I think, fell off a little early. I want to say injury. So what happened, yung naiwan kami apat ni Marlo, Dennis, and Kenneth. So as the tournament got closer, so we're practicing maybe a month, less than a month. As the tournament got closer, I think this is what the coaches were thinking, that they didn't feel as strong with us 4 amateurs. So what they did was they wanted to just bring 2 and then invite 2 more. And I think the 2 that eventually came was Jerry and Ray Vangalista. If I'm not mistaken.
Johnny.
And Johnny, right? And
Johnny was in, yeah.
Something like that. Or Johnny and
I don't
Ray,
remember
something
Jerry though.
like
I think it was Johnny Ray and someone else. Basta
someone,
2 amateurs
right?
lang.
You're right. So it wasn't just the San. It was supposed to be originally San Miguel and then us, but then maybe they felt it wasn't as strong. So what they did was they only brought 2, and then they invited Johnny to come.
Oh, Alvin.
And
Alvin was the other guy.
Alvin. And then so the 2 guys who wasn't able to go was Dennis and myself.
Which is ironic also, because we were talking about it. Dennis was still a student. Yun nangyari pa nga doon. Dennis dropped all of his subjects because he wanted to make national team. So he made a sacrifice that wasn't fulfilled. And same thing with you, Jeff. You're talking about, you sacrificed a lot, and then it sucked to be the last cut.
Right. It did. It did. We wanted to go. We were excited to go. At this point, we were practicing with San Miguel already. So being familiar, playing with a pro team, we were there already. I think we did a good job in holding our own at the time. And but again, decisions like this are made all the time, and it's just we used it. If the next story there, Dennis and I used it to inspire and motivate us even more.
Right. No, it's crazy. I'm sure. Looking back now, Coach, you think about it. You weren't certain about coming to the Philippines and eventually playing here. Then it happened. You're playing in the PBL. And all of a sudden, now you're trying out for the national team.
Right.
You're about, so if you think about it, I'm sure now you're like, wow, man, what an opportunity for you.
No, I can't, like I said, I'm blessed. And what I tried to focus on was really just the moment and to be the best I could just at the moment. And the blessings or the windows, I should say, just kept on opening up. And I just tried to do my best to open up, to take advantage of the opportunities. And even if this stint and of me trying out for the national team in '94, even if that window opened and it didn't work out the way we'd like it, I really still believe that helped me, again, and pushed me, as to really push myself for my career. And I will not, I won't replace that with anything.
And my only comment, Noel, on this photo is that they have to make better jerseys, man. Look how see-through those are. It's almost nude. It's almost obscene.
Right.
Actually, see-through siya.
I cannot unsee EJ File anymore. The next time I see him, boy, I remember you in that Philippine jersey, man. You're sexy.
Kitang-kita, pati pusod eh. Pati pusod, kitang-kita. O, tinan mo.
Madalas pa kami magkita ni EJ. Sabi ko, sexy mo pala dati, no?
You cannot give these jerseys to the ladies team, though. They're gonna get angry.
Exactly.
Right? Even if they want
I'm trying to get to that weight. I want to go back to that weight. Wala, hirap eh.
Wala na. Matanda na tayo, Coach.
Matanda na tayo, 50s na tayo, 50s na. No, but look at how young everybody.
Makabats kami nito.
Pero look at how young everybody looked in this photo. Talagang sobrang, there's so much future. Nakikita mo that all of these 5 players obviously made an impact. Kenneth became an MVP, and eventually Jeffy became a Rookie of the Year. So did Marlu, di ba? At this time, how starry-eyed were you? You got cut. That sucks. Pero yeah, Michael Jordan also got cut. But how? Not starry-eyed. What were your ambitions now? What was your bounce back from this failure, if you will?
Right. If I'm not mistaken, after this, there was one more conference left in the PBL before the draft. And it just so happened that Nikon at the time decided to fold from the PBL. And so hindi na sila kasama doon. So I had to really look for a new team. So this is why I ended up in InstaFood. So nagsama kami ni Dennis Espino, and we, in our own little ways, verbally and even just the way we worked, we reminded each other that we were cut. and we made sure that everyone felt it and knew it, and we wanted to be the best players on the court. That tournament, that last conference, not just because it's the one before the PBA, but also that motivation of, okay, all right, we got cut, so let's show them. But and we used it. We used it as motivation.
Mhm.
Right. I actually did one of your games. That was my rookie year in the PBL as well as a
Okay.
broadcaster. So no, but again, you ended up winning MVP.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that Vindication, I believe,
Yeah.
right? For that, you
Yeah.
guys kept me. Look at me, I'm a PBL MVP.
It
Yeah.
was the
Right.
94 PBL Invitational, no? That's where you
Yeah.
were
Right.
the MVP.
Correct.
And-
And that's when it really started to get. I mean, it was our, we were in the process, and it was really serious at that time already, because we knew that the draft is up and coming. We knew that the teams are watching, and we wanted to make sure that you get drafted. I think that's the number one thing, you know. And that was our vision mentally, and then our motivation each and every day.
So eventually you did decide to enter the draft, right? So it's time
We
to
did.
throw my name into that draft of 1995. And did you have any prior knowledge that Alaska was going to take you?
I didn't. I didn't. I honestly thought that I was gonna go sooner.
Okay.
And you know, and again, this is all, I'm just making cuento on what happened, but there's absolutely no worries and no remorse whatsoever, or no bad feelings. But I was told that if given a chance at the fourth pick, if any of the 5 was available, I was promised by San Miguel that we'll make sure we get you guys. But so any of you 5 that's available in the draft, we're gonna make sure we pick you up. So when the 4th pick was coming up, I was thinking, oh wow, okay, Kenneth was gone. Sorry, I think the first pick was Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis,
EJ.
then EJ, and then Kenneth.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, San Miguel, okay, they'll pick me, or because Marlo wasn't entering the draft that year, he waited another year. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to San Miguel. And then all of a sudden, when they announced they drafted
Brian Ponsalan.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously it's the need, right? At the time they had many guards, so they needed him. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And then I'm like, the next one is Pure Foods, am I correct?
No, next one was
No,
Alaska.
next was
Pure
Alaska.
Foods-
Next was Alaska.
Pure Foods got Chris Jackson first at number 4.
After, yeah. And then the next
Yeah,
one,
then-
that's how I'm sorry. That's how I felt to the lapse of
6.
Alaska.
Yeah. But then you're with Tim Cone, and Tim Cone had started to become a winning coach already. So were there expectations? Okay, I'm gonna be in this system where they have like a Johnny Abarientos already. They already have, it's a pretty good core. Yeah, to be honest with you. But and you thinking, am I the monkey wrench gonna be thrown into this thing? Am I gonna do more harm than good under Tim Cone and that wicked triangle offense?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I hope I'm not going to be any negative wrench that was thrown in. No, I hope that, my goal was to come in and to help, and to have, help, continue with the winning ways of Alaska, and to help improve the team. So my number one goal when I was processing everything was, what can I do to stay on the court? Yun lang yun. What can I do to stay on the court? We had the scorers, right? Johnny, Jho Jho especially, and Bong, right? We had Poch as a big man role player that can also score, but there's that core already. So we didn't need someone to go in there and take 20 shots. Which you could never do without, and obviously we know this now that we're coaching, is to have guys who are focused and dedicated on defense.
Right.
And that's where I primarily focused on. And I always told them, I go, let me guard the best guy, or the guy I could, somewhat of height. You guys save a little bit of your energy so you can do your thing on offense, and I'll do the little things. So that's where I was focused on.
And how did Coach Tim play you when you first got there? What was your
impression of Tim Cone?
Yeah, that playing for him again changed my life. So I we need like a week on this podcast to be able to talk about everything.
Right.
But to be honest, playing for him was probably the best thing that could ever happen to me. Learned a lot, understood a lot about discipline and what it takes to be a pro. And but he had me come in there and just, again, never really put a lot of pressure on me. Just said, play my game. My role at the time was really, I was the first guy off the bench. And I think that really helped me because I knew at a certain time I was coming in. And, that helped me mentally just prepare myself while I'm sitting on a bench. Okay, I'm coming in a couple minutes. And to just focus on the little things and all the little things that I could do to help the team.
Sino pinapalitan mo, coach? Si
Who was the
Jolas.
starting three? I'm looking at this. No, Jolas was a deuce. So who was the starting three at the time?
So it was Johnny. So it's like this. When it's all Filipino, I would start.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would.
So you're.
But
So
if it's the import conference, then the imports will start, and I'll be the first guy off the bench.
So you're
And
backing up Sean
normally,
Chambers?
for Jho Jho. I say it
Oh, I
again.
thought you were
Jho.
backing up. I thought you were backing up Sean Chambers.
No.
For Jho Jho,
That guy play 48 plus.
I know.
So he's okay.
Right. And then Tim Cone, at that point, you guys, you were poised to win already. But before we even go to the Grand Slam or whatever, in 1995, an incident happened. You were going in for a fast break layup, and then some dude pushes you from behind, knocks you down, and the focus. The funny thing is, the focus wasn't even on you. You're the one who hits the deck and then probably gets hurt. And everything's on the guy who pushes you. Of course, that's the destroyer, Rudy Distrito.
Right.
Tell us about your thought. What did you think about that whole thing?
Was he the first guy to welcome you into the PBA?
No. I mean, the first guy to welcome me in that way, in that manner. Okay. But luckily I was only 23, 24 at the time, or else I really would have been destroyed if I was a bit older, But thoughts in my mind, I think I was also fortunate, and I like to add this lang. I was really fortunate that I was still able to reach guys like Distrito and guys like, Manny Victorero, Victorino. So those guys. So medyo naubutan ko pa yung mga those guys.
Right.
And obviously sila Alvin, Nelson, Alan, all those guys. So able to reach those guys because that really helped me understand what it means to be physical, the physicality part that's needed to play. So, but when that happened with Rudy, gosh, I to be honest with you, I was trying to focus on the layup so much that I did not know who hit me until, again, I looked up and it was him. I didn't know he was chasing me. I thought I had a clear lane, and then all of a sudden, they're picking me up by the photographers. But dati kasi uso pa yung mga photographers.
Yeah.
They can sit right there. So I'm all scrambled and twisted, with their legs, and like I said, lucky I was 24. If not, it would have been a different story.
Did you want to get up and go after him or something after that?
To be honest with you, because I think I was young, that wasn't the instinct. That wasn't the instinct. I think if I was older and you have more experience and you are the kuya of the team, the veteran team, then I might have stood up and walked up to him. And that, I think that's just a natural thing. But me being young, I think I was like, oh, okay, man, this guy hit me hard. Let me stay on the floor for a second. So I think that's what happened.
You didn't really get hurt, right? It would just look worse than what happened.
I didn't get hurt, but I do have a forever scar on the left side of my leg.
Oh, wow.
So you bled that time?
Yeah, it was like it turned into like a wound, and then so ngayon may peklat siya. So I have a peklat.
Like a floor burn or something?
Yeah, a floor burn. Yeah, that turned into medyo like a may sugat siya, and then.
Wow, okay. So
yeah. So,
there's a memory of that incident. Okay.
Yeah. I'm wanting to have him sign it, but I haven't been able to reach it.
You reach him in the MPBL. He's the head of security over there.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
No, but the
How
question is,
ironic, right?
yeah, the question is Rudy Distrito gave you your hardest hit, but who hit you first? Who welcomed you
Yeah,
to the
who was the
PBA?
first?
You're a PBL MVP, and then you walk into this league, and then who is
Walk
this
into the
dude?
league.
Let's welcome him. Who is that?
Man, I don't want to name names, Noel. I honestly don't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Oh,
But
wow.
but it was really I just remember that there is that level that you need to be ready for. So cutting inside the court or cutting inside the paint was like cutting into dangerous grounds. You had to be careful and prepare yourself. No.
Yeah,
And you're not going to leave the paint without having a bump or an elbow or a
Right.
hard
Yeah.
whatever. But
Jerry
no one,
Cordillera forearm mark on your face,
if I
right?
remember,
Jerry
I'll
Cordillera.
message you.
Yeah,
Okay.
But who were the tough guys? I mean, if there's no, you can't remember the first incident, but who were the guys like, okay, we're playing these guys tomorrow. I got to be ready for who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pido was still playing, so he was
Yes,
always
he
a
was.
tough guy.
Uh-huh.
Couple guys from that Santa Lucia team that were, gosh, I'm trying to recall him.
Chris
I'm sorry.
Jackson. Chris Jackson was there, right?
Yeah, but he never guarded me because
Yeah,
he was always guarding the big guys.
Sino yung mga dos tres nila doon, Noel?
Yeah,
Yung
yung mga
1995,
Gosh, ba? Lowell Briones na ba yun? Yung mga ganon?
Pwede.
Crappy. No, even older, Noel.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm bad with names, so
Yeah.
yeah. There's always, just know this. There's always a couple on every team. There's always a couple of every team.
Santa
They call them the
Lucia.
hitmen. Yeah.
I'm looking at the
Right.
lineup right now.
Oh,
There's
yes,
June
yes, yes,
Habar, June Habar, Jose Francisco, Jerry
Oh, yeah.
Esplana, Toying Teves, Romy De
That's
La
right.
Rosa.
Yeah, Tevez. Yeah,
Tevez.
that would be one.
Teves. Teves is one.
Those are the
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a motley crew, man.
Yeah. No, but you adjusted to the PBA seamlessly, I think, and then eventually in a couple of years you're winning a Grand Slam. You guys are just running roughshod over everybody else. Why was it easy? I mean, because it looked so easy for you guys that year, but from your perspective, was it an easy year winning that Grand Slam?
Like every championship run, there's always a struggle that goes within that conference, and it's always a different struggle. And I cannot not even close say that it was easy. So it's never easy, but to win 3, I guess I'd like to just speak more on how special that team was. The commitment, how much we were together, how much we understood our roles, and how focused we were. I can't say we worked the hardest because I know every team works hard, but all I know is that team was special because we really came together. And when we walked on the court, it helps to know that you're good. Without sounding like you're in any ways mayabang or anything. You just knew that you were good, and we were good together. So I think that's what made it special. And at that time, like I said, everyone understood roles. They knew what they needed to do, and guys are good. Guys are good in their roles.
Yeah, I'm gonna backtrack a bit, Jeff, back to 1995. So you're with Timco with a new system called the Triangle Offense, and of course, guys drafted ahead of you, superstars, Dennis Espino, diba? Si Kenneth Duremdes, but you win Rookie of the Year. What was that like? Cut from the national
special.
team, and then you win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. You cannot say that's one award that you only have one chance to get, right?
Yeah.
So one chance to get. So honestly, at the beginning, I don't think anyone thinks about it. Like at the beginning we get drafted, it wasn't I'm going to win Rookie of the Year this year. It wasn't like that. It was really more of, again, just that stepping stone. What can I do to help the team? What can I do to stay on the court? So I think the mindset of all of us were the same. Obviously, we're hungry. We're young. We want to make a name for ourselves. We like the start of the popularity. A little bit of fame, people recognizing you here and there. So, but we wanted that to continue, and for that to continue is you have to be consistent. So, That really was the focus. But to win the Rookie of the Year, that has to do a lot with, again, the performance of the team. And because we were winning and we were in the championship, right? It kind of kept me up in the talks pretty much the whole year. And my numbers, I think, were decent and competitive compared to Ken and Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think the bottom line, if numbers were all pretty much even, I think the biggest factor was the fact that we just had more wins. And I think that's okay that it's like that. It should be that way anyway.
Was the chip lifted off your shoulder when you won Rookie of the Year?
Maybe a little bit, but again, now it's like, there's always something to strive for, Noel. There's always something that you wanna improve on. So I always believe that the current contract that you have, you're playing already for the next one, and that was the mindset. And I was on a 2-year deal. I know it's going to be quick. We have been winning, and I want to make sure that given opportunity, when that time comes out, I want to make sure that I'm given the opportunity to be able to negotiate. And the best way to do that is to perform.
Right.
That's right. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's a great point.
Pero galing so galing nung first 3 years ng career mo, very successful, of course, championships here and there. But you moved on after. Was it a 3-year contract they gave you? 2-year contract at the start?
Alaska 2 years.
2 years, but then you played a 3rd year, right? So you got that.
No,
and then
that 3rd year I was already at Mobiline.
Oh, nag-Mobiline ka na.
97, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you got traded, right? You got traded to Mobiline, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Actually, the 2 Alaska pictures we're looking at is like the first year and the last year.
Yeah, that's right. I put them together just to show the contrast. But let's go to the next photo.
And the change in the form of the jump shot. We have to note that the change in the form of the jump shot.
Yeah, but it looked as long as it was going in.
A little bit, yeah.
So you end up going to Mobiline. So there you are in your 3rd year.
Yeah.
You're with
Patrick Fran had a comment earlier, by the way. Patrick Fran left a comment.
Patrick Fran giving you some love.
Yeah.
I call him
a recent guest. This is what he said.
Nice.
He says you're a great leader. So
and there he is. Patrick Fran is right there beside Franz Pumar and yourself.
I know he's your buddy. We all sat together recently at Eric's thing. So this is a different environment altogether. Different coach, different system, a bunch of veterans. There's a bunch of oldies.
There's the coach who cut you from the national team. I'm just kidding.
Dito siya bumawi.
Dito mo siya bumawi.
Anong pakiramdam mo noon nung natanggal ka sa Alaska, nandito ka sa Mobiline ngayon?
Yeah, so again, the context to this team and this quick story is Coach Norman, this is his first year with Mobiline coming from San Miguel. And how I was able to move from Alaska to Mobiline was through an offer sheet. So during that time, I was negotiating with Alaska, and we were talking, and I did not expect that I was going to be able to be offered an offer sheet from Mobiline, yet alone Coach Norman. And to be honest with you, numbers wise, it's a little sensitive during that time, but now, we could talk about that, right?
Yeah.
Numbers wise, I wasn't asking from Alaska what Coach Norman offered me in Mobiline. So actually medyo malayo Medyo ang laki ng in-offer ng Mobiline compared to what I was okay with in Alaska.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where as much as I didn't want to leave, as much as I was comfortable, I was at home. The difference in amount made you think. It really did. It really made you think. Course. And it was double. It was actually double, and it was for a longer period of time. Mm-hmm. And make a long story short, I made the move. I asked family, I asked people that I trusted. My old manager, you mentioned him earlier, Charlie, Tito Boy Costello, Ed Costello. He was one of my advisors, yeah. And he said, Jeff, you know, it's up to you what you want to do, but again, it's an opportunity that you never know if it's going to come or not. So obviously, I took it, and that's how I got to Mobiline.
That's right, and there you are with
What
Patrick
a
Fran.
solid team you got here, though. That's a lot of veterans.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Nice front line at the back, and then you got the guards in front, the all tough
You got
veterans.
the best free throw shooter in the PBA too. He's right there behind Yo-Yo Villamin and Eric Reyes.
Who's that? Oh, Richard. Richard. Yeah, that was a good team right there. It was, you know, again, the combination was vets and young guys.
Yeah, what a mix.
You know, with Al Solis and Glenn Capaccio, France Pomaran, Alvin Teng.
Yeah.
Yo-Yo.
The senior guy here is Yo-Yo Villamin. That's the most
the guy in the middle. So,
who's beside Eric Reyes? Who's between Eric Reyes and Norman Black?
That
was Alvin, right?
Alvin Teng.
That's Alvin Teng, right?
And
Who's behind Eric and Alvin? Who's that?
Tonichi.
Tonichi. Okay, all right.
Assistant coach. Yeah.
And then who's behind who's this? Behind Villamin, and who's the guy beside Villamin?
Joey Santa Maria.
Joey Santa Maria. Correct.
And the guy beside Villamin is, I'm trying to make
Noel Briones.
That's Lowell Briones. That's right.
Jaworski.
And then you got a very young TJ Manotok there in the coaching staff as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And then and behind TJ is Fritz Gaston.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, the Leo Isaac as well.
Coach Leo. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, what a solid team this was.
Solid lineup. That's right. I just, you know.
Right.
Kompleto eh. Walang tapon eh.
Yun na nga. Although the team, strong as it looks right now, didn't do too well, right? I mean,
you got a very young Andy Siegel there. I mean, this is Andy Siegel's rookie year. Yeah.
And your role changed here, I suppose. You know, you were one of the main guys. Well, you were in Alaska already, but you know, you come in here and you're a bit, you know, more of a veteran already, and they're using you more regularly. How did it change though, system-wise? What adjustments did you have to do to come to Mobiline?
Well, obviously, Coach Norman is different from Coach Tim. But, you know, again, what I like about Coach Norman is he allows you to be you. So he has a system in place that we all followed. You know, we all loved Coach Norman. It's just, you know, again, I think technical-wise, you know, X's and O's, I don't think that was the issue. I think here, when you really look at it and really evaluate, and I say this with great respect, we may have been a little too veteran. Is that what I'm saying? Is that what I mean?
Yeah, you could be right.
I get you.
Right? So we're not catching our veterans in their prime, if that makes sense. I'm honestly, you know, still I'm learning now at this point, it being my third year. I'm learning how to step up my game and be more of a leader at that time. So there were struggles that came with that. Knowing that I had to play a little bit more, I was starting and play a little bit more, and then Glenn would come off the bench, things like that. So,
so yeah, here's a solo pick. Nadala ng bola, di ba? Nice to look back at the old photos. Huh?
Daming buhok.
Really, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say daming buhok.
No, but here you're sort of like the main guy already. In Alaska, you're like more of a role player. Now you're charged to score more here. The offense goes through you a lot here. Did you relish this, or did you find it a little bit of a stretch that, hey guys, I need some help here?
I tried. I want to say both. I love the opportunity. I love that I was given a chance to be one of the main guys. But I knew that because of the veterans around me, I'd be foolish not to learn from them. You know, they may be, you know, in their last 2-3 years of their careers, but there's so much to learn, and I did. Like Al Solis, Glenn, learned a lot. France always talked to me. So it was me during that time. This is me kind of forming my role as one of the main guys on the team.
And then in the middle of that Mobiline stint, there was an opportunity once again to be part of the national team.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking about that. But
Oh
in
yeah.
the meantime, no, we just want to remind everybody, Aaron, if we can, we'll remind everybody
Yeah.
we are part of the Globally Ballin Network. We are on Spotify. If you watch and listen to us and you like us on Spotify, send us some love. Rate us with a 5-star rating, please. And then check this out. Benji Paras has been dominating the episodes. I mean, he's number one. He's been number one on Spotify for a long time. So let's look at the top 8. Let's see, if you can let your other episodes catch up. He's been number one, and Pido
Wow,
Lorenzo
Pido
is
making
there
a
moving up
comeback,
the
huh?
podium. That's right. Nolly Locsin, former teammate of Coach Jeff. JV Gayoso is there. Tim Cone, his former coach. Verhel, Alan Kaidik, and of course the usapang is that the Joe Cantada episode
Yes,
rather?
I think Smoking Joe. Yeah.
Is there. So, and then those are the top 8 episodes so far. So keep watching and then keep raising the views for these episodes. Okay. So
The
anyway,
Pido, the
let's
Pido, the Pido episode's never gonna get old, man.
oh
Jeff,
yeah.
that's something you should
Let's
watch. Just watch the Pido Rancho episode. I mean,
Well,
you gotta watch
that'll
them.
never get old.
If you if
comedy the whole time.
yeah, if the fans don't recall, we asked him one question and he talked for 20 minutes straight. We didn't ask a second question. So he just went on. So anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go into the second half of the time capsule. Because we gotta move into it. And so there was a chance to be RP team na naman. Centennial
Yeah.
kasi was 1998. And there you are again with another chance to make the RP team, coach.
Right. So again, Asian game comes around, and I'm in the talks of being part of that team. Obviously, there's a tryout process. Again, I was hoping and striving and doing my best to make sure that I make this team. 98, still fairly young in my PBA career. This is really only my 3rd year, going into my 4th year. But it started well, but it didn't end the way we wanted.
How did it
Right.
end? How did it end for you?
No, because what happened, we were carrying 13 guys for,
Right.
I want to say, the last stretch, like the last month. And I always thought that was a little odd. That why 13? Knowing that you're going to have to give your final lineup, your final 12 when you get there, no? And then, not to jump ahead, pero I knew yung pinag-usapan namin is they will make the final cut or they will make that announcement once we're there in Bangkok. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone prepare to go. Everyone, you're part of the team, whatever, blah blah blah. So that's really what happened. So again, up until that announcement, there's always a belief that you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. And again, for whatever reason, when we get there, they announced the final 12, and I was not part of that. And it was another disappointment. I remember leaving our room where we were staying, and I needed to take a walk, and I walked around for about an hour to process, because at the time you're like, man, I've been always, that's one of my goals as a player, and everyone to make the national team. So
Right.
the first time when I wasn't able to make it, I said, okay, I'm gonna make it the next time. And when it didn't happen, you could understand the
Oh
disappointment.
yeah, I'm sure sama ng loob mo. And who was the coach? Who was the coach that cut you?
Tim Cole.
Yeah, just an average coach. Coach Tim, he's okay,
for the first 30 minutes of that hour you were walking around, he probably wasn't okay.
Right. Yeah.
What's up with you, coach?
That was a struggle for me. But again, now you get over it, and you have to, and you really have to. I'd like to say that once we landed, again, that was never forgotten, and I use that to motivate me. But there's always nothing but respect for Coach Tim and Coach Chot at the time. They were
Right.
together, and
there are 13
I'm
guys.
counting. I'm going, am I right? There's 13, and I'm
Exactly. It's 13. That's why I put that photo in the group,
Right.
because that goes to show you what happened there. There you are in the. Well, you were wearing number 5. Or in the earlier
Charlie,
picture,
Charlie,
now
if it
you're
were up
number
to you,
12.
Charlie, if it were up to you, who would you cut from this group of 30? If it were up to you, Charlie, I'm just putting you on the spot. I know I am,
Oh,
but
come on.
no, really, just looking at it. I mean, that's
Well,
a
I
tough
know,
cut.
I know. We needed some size,
Right.
but maybe I don't know. Maybe EJ. Because we had
ito lang,
Marlo.
hypothetical na lang, Coach
Yeah.
Jeff. I mean, if you're the coach of these 13, would you cut you? Would you cut Jeff Cariaso?
No, I wouldn't cut Jeff Cariaso.
Okay. No, that's it. That's all I wanted to hear.
What a crazy question, Noel. Come
No,
on,
yeah.
man.
Sometimes you say, you know what, they're all deserving. Yeah, I'd cut me, no.
Right.
But Jeff says, I wouldn't cut me.
I know. Most of these guys were your friends already prior to this this process for the national team. But during the whole, you're practicing and then leading up to the games before you got cut, who was the guy that you weren't too close to that became your buddy?
Mm.
On this team here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on this team.
On this team? Oh, interesting. I'd probably say Jun Limpot and Virgel Meneses.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Because I know you're
Yeah.
close to Jolas already. You probably
Yeah,
knew
close to those guys,
Johnny,
and
of
Marlo,
course, and Dorembes.
Marlu,
File,
EJ.
right?
Yeah.
Espino,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Everyone
very,
great
very
guys,
nice.
don't get me wrong. And it's hard. Like when I look at it now, I say with the same breath, like who do you really cut there? Like
Yeah. That's
you-
the tough cut.
what was explained to me, now that we're discussing it, what
Right,
was
right.
explained to me was that they were thinking about Olsen.
Mhm.
But what the thought process there is, what if Johnny, gets hurt or whatever, you don't have that natural point guard, which made absolute sense. You have to have a backup point guard. And how could you cut Olsen Rosella? Okay. And then the other one, I guess you would look at is there a redundancy in any of the positions? So you need shooters. So Allen's there, Jho Jho's there, Kenneth's there. No, you need scorers and shooters. So is there a redundancy maybe in Papa June, Limpot, and Boss Cap? Come on, you cannot cut Alvin, diba? So
How about Andy
it's-
Siegel? How about Andy Siegel?
Andy
I mean,
Siegel,
that's a
I think
redundancy right there.
him.
Well, it's really
EJ,
Siegel, maybe Siegel or EJ, right? I mean, it's one of the two, perhaps.
Either
if you look
one
at
of
it
those
now.
guys, yeah. That's a fine.
Yeah.
But then, I think at the time, we're thinking we need height, and we're not the biggest, coming in there.
Tama.
So that's probably,
Yun
that's
naman, obviously, yun naman ang inisip talaga. Diba? Just to have a
Yeah.
guy who can raise his hands and
Right.
block that rim, probably. But
right.
All right,
now
ito question. Dennis makes the team, you don't. You both got cut in 94. Did you and Dennis talk after the decision was made?
Did we talk? No, I can't remember if we sat down and talked. But these guys, all great guys. They all, in some point or another, either that night or especially the next day, reached out to me, made sure they kept me positive and just one of those things. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, the way I look at it is there's 13 guys from the PBA who's representing the Philippines, and I'm one of those 13. And yes, it sucks I'm not in the final lineup, but I'm still amongst these guys. And, like I said, that's how I look at it.
All right, I'll just tell you a little story. I'm sure you know this. There's one guy who didn't want to be on this team, who did not want to be on this team.
Oh, interesting.
That'd be Jho Jho Lastimosa. Did not want to be on that team because why? Alaska was chasing a Grand Slam in '98.
They were, yeah. That's
Yeah.
another story. Correct.
Yeah, there's another story. Actually, when Jho Jho Lastimosa guest on our show, he was questioning, why'd you bring me anyway? You're benching
Look
me.
at-
You're
look at
benching
the
me.
timing. The timing.
Yeah.
Look at this comment by Vince
Yeah.
Dimayuga. But in
There
the
you go.
Jolas episode, he said he was benched most of the time by Coach Tim. So I guess as amazing as he was, siya na siguro ang dapat nakat instead of Coach
Yeah, and
Tim.
Jolas said he wanted to go home.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
why'd
right.
you
Yeah.
bring me here? We could have chased a Grand Slam.
Right.
And he and Tim Cone had a fight and did not
Yeah.
speak to each other for a long time. Did you know
Yeah.
that story?
I
I mean, were you
I don't
there?
know
Yeah.
how long, Noel, but I witnessed that. I was there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I witnessed them going through that and Jho Jho kind of blowing up and but yeah, it's all part of basketball. All part of basketball.
Yeah, well, that's how it rolled, and it's so long ago, and that's
No, but
everything's
everything,
for a
all the
reason.
wounds have healed and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it must have been really a tense moment when Tim Cone and Jho Jho Lastimosa in Bangkok were just going at each other, and you were trying to get a bronze medal or something like that at the time.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And Jolas
so-
corrected us. He wasn't sick in the game against Kazakhstan. He was angry.
He was
Yeah.
angry.
It was Chot
Well,
Reyes who
exactly.
put him in.
That's,
It was
that's
Chot
what
Reyes
that's
who put
what
him in, not
Nikki
him.
just
Yeah.
said. Nikki
Yeah.
just said if they cut Joloff, the angry game won't happen.
Exactly. We
That's what
would
he
have won a
called it.
bronze
Yeah.
medal.
That's what
Right.
Coach Jolas calls it, the angry game. So
Right.
It wasn't the flu game.
Right. Yeah, because he was given an opportunity that very next game. And
Yeah,
that's
and the thing is,
what-
Tim Cone didn't put him in. Chot Reyes put him in.
but
that
that's
I
how
don't know.
that,
To be honest, I
Yeah.
don't know that.
that's how
Yeah.
awesome that's the type of pro that Jolas was, though. He was
Yeah.
piffed about not getting to play, but you put him in and he
Yeah.
does his thing. So
He's the
Right.
hero.
He knows
Yeah.
he had needed to perform, and he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the episode there of
No,
of
I
the
just want to
99.
point out the irony, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you try out for the national team in '94. A guy named Norman Black cuts you. Then you get drafted by a guy named Tim Cone. Then you're finally traded to a guy named Norman Black, and then you try out for a national team, and a guy named Tim Cone cuts you. Look at the irony of that, right?
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean,
That's
do you ever
so
look at it,
crazy.
you ever think about it? How ironic is this?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Noel, I'm gonna be honest. I've never thought about it the way that you just described. That's
Exactly. Same
Yeah.
here, coach.
Think about
Galing,
it.
galing.
Think about it, right? Look at the irony of this.
To me, it was just really like, oh man, disappointing. Boom. All right, get back up. All right, let's go. So,
Yeah.
Well, all
Oh,
changed in
so-
2002.
happened. That
Yeah,
was good.
Ganun
Yeah.
talaga. No,
Yeah,
but then
that all
you,
changed in 2002. Don't worry about it.
so everything's done, everything's healed, and everything moves on. So let's move on as well, right? So
Okay.
let's go to the next stage of your career. After all of that, boom! Suddenly you're on a new team in 99. Is that 99 or 2000? No, 2000. You're with the Tanduay.
7, 8, 9, 2000.
Yeah,
2000,
2000.
yeah.
You're with Tanduay all of a sudden. It's a different
Yes.
team.
Ah,
it's a
wala na
new
si
team.
Alvarado, tama. Oo.
Ayan si Coach Jeff sumusolo sa kanan. On the left, there's Al Francis Chua, Hatfield, Pido Harencio, Cantonhos. Who's the little guy in 9? Is that Jomer Ruby?
Jumar Ruby, Cantonos, Jason
And that's
Webb
Webb.
is a far
Jason
right.
Si Webb
Webb,
on the
yeah.
right, yeah. Si Webb yan. And si Menk sa
Sino yung
likod.
hinaharangan ni Pido? Sino yung hinaharangan ni Pido?
Si Menk,
Eric
si
Menk
Menk.
ba yan? Eric Menk
Oh,
yan.
Eric
ano?
Menk.
Correct.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
Doka, you end up with Tanduay. It's a new thing.
Right.
Play a couple of seasons there. So how was that? I mean, different
It
different
was-
role.
it
as
was
That's
well.
Al Francis Chua. Yeah, that's Al Francis Chua na.
Coach Al,
Diba
yeah, that's
system?
Coach Al. Yeah. So this
So
is the
super
first
veteran
time. He
ka
was
na.
the head coach already here. He was the head coach
Yeah, yeah.
already.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the first time where I was traded in my career.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So at Mobiline, our last coach there was Coach Eric Altamirano, Coach E.
Right.
And he
Coach E.
traded me exactly for that, for
Talan.
Mark Talan.
And the draft
I forgot
draft pick. Okay,
And the
so
draft
2 players.
Right.
for
So,
one,
yeah. Mobiline felt that they needed a big, and Tanduay was talking to me a little bit prior to that, and yeah, I had to make that work. So this was the one where, players get traded. It's part of the business. It's part of our life as basketball players, and
Tama.
you just have to make good of the opportunity. And
But
yeah,
but there was prior knowledge, as you were saying, no? Parang alam mo na kinakausap pa na ng Tanduay na and all of that. There's no Luka Doncic element here that you suddenly you're
no,
traded,
I didn't mean it sounded like that. I did not know about the trade, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
okay.
Yeah. So when
Okay.
they were talking to me, it was about the team and all that. So sorry if I made it sound like that, but
Okay.
I didn't know anything about the trade. I was a little bit surprised
okay.
that I was traded. I felt like we had a good core, but sayang that opportunity.
Yeah, but now you get traded along 2 quality Fil-Ams. You got Eric Menk and Rudy Hatfield, right? So,
Right. Right.
What was it like now playing now? Okay, I don't have to do the heavy lifting anymore. I'll be part of
Right.
the core, but it's these
Right.
2 guys now who are the main guys. What was that like
Yeah.
in Tanduay?
And at the time, naabutan ko pa si Sonny Alvarado.
Sonny
So he was-
Alvarado.
Naabutan pa. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
nabutan ko pa siya. So eventually the Fil-Am issues, and then he got kicked out. But to be able to play alongside Rudy and Eric, man, I again, so many learnings there. We knew that we just needed more experience, maybe a couple pieces here and there as the years go by. But we knew we had a talented young core that just needed experience and to go through the fight of playing big games. But sadly enough, we weren't given that opportunity because, again, eventually nag-fold din tong Tanduay
Kaya nga eh.
from
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sayang.
because Bongtan, got impatient. No? I mean, there was a
Right.
chance still, but he got annoyed with everything. Just
Yeah.
folded up the team, right?
Yeah.
Sayang.
Right,
Kasi may potential pa nun eh.
Yeah.
So again,
Correct.
you're playing now. You're playing for Al Francis. You're playing for Al Francis Chua. You know what Al Francis Chua did in the PBL. I mean, he broke all sorts of records. Then, so what was it like transitioning now from the Norman Black system to Al Francis Chua? And of course, the two of them were together in Santa Lucia. But was it the same system, or did you have to adopt to a different role again?
Similar in some of the things that we were running, but totally different as, I guess a personality and character wise as a coach. So Coach Al's totally different on his approach than Coach Norman. Coach Al is really more of that old school. He'll really let you know when he's not happy with you. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little different. But you have to adjust, and that's how he was. And again, he was, at the end of the day, he was doing his best to coach and make us better players and a better team. But in regards to personality wise, there was a difference.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. That's clear.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, we talked about this also before, Jeff. I mean, we talked about the Fil-Am issue also. I mean, what's your take on everybody trying to make it to the PBA? I wouldn't want to say falsifying documents just to be able to play, but your entire take of what was happening, because you're right smack in the middle of all of the controversies.
Yeah. I was actually, involved in that. So, they didn't want to pinpoint certain guys that they were questioning. So what they did was they just questioned all the Fil-Ams. So all the Fil-Americans, regardless, if you had your parents' marriage certificate, birth certificate, or, like obviously my papers are all, no issues, no problem. So I never really worried, but just the fact that you had to go through it because your name is involved was a little tedious. It was difficult, So, not that I wish things would have been handled better in regards to how paperwork was processed. I think it was a little unfair that they had to include everyone, especially the ones who've been here for a few years. And
right,
my case, I played in a PBL. My birth certificate says my mom and dad's Filipino. I have both their birth certificates. So yung nasama pa tayo doon, I think that was a little unfair. But
no, it was really crazy because even the Siegel brothers, one was treated differently than the other. You remember that? I mean, they're questioning Andy, but they weren't questioning Danny.
Yeah.
Or I think it was the other way around.
Yeah, sorry, you're right, Charlie.
Around.
It was the other way around. They were questioning Danny, but not Andy.
Yeah.
So
obviously we got close to the Seagulls. To Andy and Danny and even the parents. I met the mom. I know the mom. She cooked for us many times. So Filipina talaga yung mami nila. From Samar, if I'm correct, from Samar yata. But she talks just like my dad, and I say this with great respect. She talks with an accent. Never been in the States for over 20 years, but never really gained that. Ganito na lang. Always kept that Filipino accent when speaking.
Right.
My dad like that, So, there's no question of Filipino sila. So, it was weird. So to go back on why one was questioned, why wasn't, I forgot the reason why, but I think it has something to do with
a law change or something.
The status of the mom.
Yes. It's the status of the mom. Correct. That's the one, coach. So it depends on the mom.
Pero gulo, diba, Charlie? I mean, there are so many questions. Even us as broadcasters, we're sort of confused already. What's going on? Why, diba?
I was pretty fine with all the ones that you could easily trace the Filipino lineage. It's really the ones who didn't look Filipino at all and all of that. And
no, but look,
so
look at Ali Pic. Ali
it
Pic was true. Lusot si Ali Pic eh. Diba? I mean, Ali Pic had all of this.
Yeah, his papers were in place. It's really a Phil scam time. It was a bad time for the PBA because people are really trying to fool us. So some of them were really trying to fool us.
If I'm correct, Charlie, that's also connected to the year that and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it has happened again. That was the 1 year that they allowed, or the each PBA team, they came up with the rule to direct hire.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Tama.
So, diba? Connected yun eh. So without going to a draft, you can acquire on your own a direct hire. That's supposedly Filipino. So
Danny Siegel, yeah.
So Tony De La Cruz, same way.
No,
I like how you said it. Acquire someone who's supposedly Filipino. Because you're not sure, right? But
No, because I remember,
But
Jeff, I
that's
had
what
a long conversrsation with you, a long conversation with Will Antonio, a long conversation with Ali Pique, and you guys gave me your takes on it. Iba-iba eh.
The point is, the league and the government could have done better at that time.
Could have done better.
Right.
Yeah,
Better.
but
Yeah.
long ago, man. But yeah, that's crazy. So anyway, balik tayo sa career ni Jeff Cariaso. Yes, somebody mentions Rob Parker of Santa Lucia. Okay.
Well, Anthony Alvarado.
And Alsegoba. Okay. Anyway, so you're playing with Tanduay and it folds. So you're building something there. You compete for a championship. You do place third, but that's gone because the team is gone. So you all have to transfer teams, and you end up transferring to Coca-Cola. So we're gonna transfer the next slide. Transfer to the next slide now. There you are. This is the only action shot. This is a team outing, a team building of Coca-Cola.
Right.
And then on the right
Masama
side,
balak ni Dale Singson dyan,
ito lang yung action shot eh. So Coca-Cola bigla. Tapos sino ba coach mo sa Coca-Cola? Si Coach
Scott Reyes. Yeah.
So this guy has played for some of the longest serving coaches in the PBA, because there's Norman, there's Tim, there's Coach E, then biglang
Coach Al.
diba? Tapos Coach Chot. Okay. So Coca-Cola, paano naman yun? You're reunited with a lot of your old friends here, though.
Yeah.
Right.
So my Coke years was, I'd have to say just as special as my Grand Slam year with Alaska, just as special as just the beginning of me being one of the main guys on the team and stepping up in regards to responsibility. This team here, why I felt was very special is one, Coach Chot, similarly like Coach Tim, they do a really good job in doing things together, in making sure that we understand the meaning of teamwork, of the sacrifice needed to make, of the responsibility that each and everyone has to own up to day in and day out, and just that trust level. So, as a coach, right now, I always recall back to who taught me that. And as much respect that I have with all the coaches I've played for, yung madalas kong isipin or always go back to is, of course, Coach Chot and then Coach Tim. So this team was special, not only because, I felt at that time, 2002, 2003, I was in my 7th, 8th year, right? So I was halfway through my career. I was at the beginning, of my peak years. And I think the experience that I had, having played 7 years, I'm a much more complete player at this point, and I'm playing at an all-time high confidence-wise. So personally, I'm playing well on the court. I have the best contact that I've ever had, in my career. And at the same time, I'm on a great team that's winning. So normally, yung tatlo na yun, Noel and Charlie, normally yung tatlo na yun, there's always one missing.
Yeah.
You play well, but you're not winning, or you don't have a big contract, but you're winning. So here, everything fell into place. So we were winning. I had a great contract, and personally, I was playing at a high level.
Galing nga.
Who
was this team build? Do you remember?
Yeah, it looks like everybody in this picture is high, though. What's with the wire?
It's high, yeah. I'm not sure if that was after the boat ride or before, or I don't know. But you see Rafi there, Johnny. You see Rob Wainwright, Jack
Gary David,
Rudy, Gary David.
Yeah.
Rudy
Will Antonio,
Gilbert Lau,
Will Antonio, Pochuino.
Reynal Hugnatan.
I think that's Freddie Abuda, right in the
It
middle.
is Freddie
Yeah,
Abuda.
Freddie
Yeah,
Abuda,
Freddie
Reynal
Abuda.
Hugnatan,
Reynel Hugnatan. Don't forget that
Yeah.
name. We're
Poch
together.
Manny
Winyo.
Ramos. How about Manny
Manny
Ramos?
Ramos.
As
He
Manny
was our
Ramos
guy.
with Pochuino, yeah. Is that
Yeah.
Jack Chia beside Rob
Yeah,
Wainwright?
Jack
Jack
Chia.
Chia.
So a lot of the
Correct.
guys I said you were reunited with them because you have Hawkins, you have Huino, Abarientos, and then you have
Yeah.
Hatfield who was with you with Tanduay. These
Yeah.
are guys you've played with before, di ba?
Right.
Yeah. Who's
Grabe.
sino nasa harap ni Gilbert Lau?
Gilbert
Si Rivis.
Lau.
Si Rivis.
Rafi?
No,
Rafi
Rafi's.
Rivas.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that is Rafi. Rob
Yeah, that's
Wainwright
Rafi.
pala yung isa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Rafi.
Aboy Castro, and then
Yeah.
Who's
Coach Aboy.
between Gary David and Johnny Abarientos? That head that's right there. Oh, Leo Avenido. That's Leo
yeah,
Avenido.
that's
Leo
Leo
Avenido.
Avenido.
Correct.
That's Leo Avenido.
Yeah. Damn.
And who's the guy behind you, Jeff? The guy in the cap in between you and Reynal
Nash.
Hugnatan.
Nash
Is that
Racela.
Nash? Okay, that's Nash.
No,
Okay.
that's Coach Nash, and then the other guy behind me next to Nash is oh my gosh, he's gonna kill me. This guy was a stud. Super
Ato.
reliable.
Ato Morano.
Morano. Ato
Morano.
Yeah.
Ato Morano.
Ato
Yeah.
Morano.
Ato
He
Morano.
played one,
And then-
the 1 and 2 for us, combo guard.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, he's a two-way guy as well. Then you
This
got
is
Hector
long
Calma.
ago. This
Who's
is so
beside
long
Hector
ago.
Calma?
Huh? And
Who's
then
beside
that's
Hector
B-Boy.
Calma?
B-Boy Ravanes.
Is that B-Boy Ravanes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the
But
guy
this
in
is-
red
this is-
behind in front of Pochuino?
Bong
Front
Hawkins.
of-
Bong
That's
Hawkins.
Bong Hawkins.
Bong Hawkins,
shucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was
galing,
saying
ah.
this is so long ago, and yet Coach Rafi Davis is still playing until now. So
He is.
he's the only one left. Last man standing, baby.
Uy, Reynal
How we
Hugnatan
do it?
naglalaro pa rin kahit paano.
Wala na sa PBA. Puro assistant coaches na yung iba dyan. Johnny.
Si
Right.
Pochuino
Diba,
nga,
ang
assistant
dami.
team manager na ng women's team ng volleyball sa UP.
Kaya nga.
Oh.
Right.
Grabe
Yeah.
yung ano. Then you also
Wow.
won a championship here. Diba?
Yeah.
To add on to the number of championships you had, so you win another one here. So masaya nga. This was a fun time for you.
Yeah.
And then Coca-Cola was great. You play for Coach Chot. But then, things always come in full circle, and eventually you
Go
end
back
up with
to
Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah, you go back to Alaska again. So,
Yeah.
so let's go to the next photo. I mean, it was a short stint with Coke. There was success, but here you are. And this is a different edition of Alaska. I don't know. The team, I couldn't really find a more recent pick, but yeah, Sonny Toss is here already. Hugnatan is there. So,
Rob Duat?
that's a different,
Rob Duat,
different
man?
version.
Duat,
Yeah, Rob
EJ
Duat, yeah.
Pada,
Brandon Cablay.
EJ Don, Willie Wilson, Ray Hugnatan.
Right.
Yeah, but you reached guys like Joe Devance,
Mike Cortez.
and
Oh.
Irvin Soto,
Yeah.
Samige Eman.
Willie,
You
Willie
reached
LA.
Yeah.
Mike Burtzer, Cyrus Baguio later on. So really generations, totally different teams. Some things were the same. There were some personalities who were the same in different capacities. But you're back at Alaska, and so how was that weird for you that you're back with Alaska? And now you're the old grizzled veteran that everybody relies
Yeah.
May Bong
on.
Hawkins pa naman.
Yeah.
May Bong Hawkins pa naman dyan.
Bumalik din si
Yeah.
Bong. Bong came back
Uh,
also towards the end.
Yan.
Right. So this was when I moved to Alaska back in 2004. So I played already because in my last 6 years with Alaska, I retired in 2010. So 6 years. So the 9 years prior was again my last 3 before this was with Coke, and I honestly didn't want to go back. Like I was really surprised. I was asking Coach Chot how come it was gonna happen. What was the problem? If there was an issue, whatever, blah blah blah. What I realized after that was I guess there was gonna be a change with coaching staff. There's gonna be I know we stuck that the Coke team stayed as Powerade, but they eventually also left the PBA. But at first I was hesitant because I was I love my years with Coke, but again God has a different plan, and I think me coming into this new but old Alaska team again.
Yeah.
Now my role is different. So now I'm the relied veteran that that really is playing. You know, I'm still playing at a high level. This is my 8th, 9th year. So I think at that point, well, what Coach Tim explained to me was he wanted to bring in someone that, again, that knows him, knows the company, and can really, I guess, be a leader to this young core that they have. You know, I know Bong Hawkins in there, but before this trade, I'd like to say there were a lot of Fil-Ams on this team. So remember, they traded Ray Hugnatan and myself, and they moved John Arrigo and Ali Peak.
Right, Ali Peak.
And Ali Peak. So aside from those two, you know, Eugene's there, Brandon's there, Don is there. I mean, Sonny is a Phil foreigner. Willie's there. So there's a lot. Rob Duat's there. So there was a lot. So I think I brought a little bit of a balance, you know, and I took that to heart because I did my best in trying to be a leader and being a bridge for not just the locals but also for the Fil-Ams.
Some of your teammates are already wearing suits. I mean, neckties already. Jho Jho Lastimosa, Dicky Bachman, naka-necktie na sila.
Yeah. They've been coaching for a while already.
Nagiba na nga yung roles, di ba? But by the time you came back, so these guys were gone. You're still playing at a high level, and of course, you know, and in the company you were very familiar. That's nice that you mentioned that because you know Alaska's always been known as a class act and all of that. Nice organization, good leadership, ownership. So I guess it was. I mean, were you happy to come back to Alaska, or did you have mixed emotions because you liked Coke so much?
Yeah. No, at the beginning I had mixed emotions, so I'm not gonna lie about that. But once I got there, I was good. I was really good. Again, it's one of those things that you cannot control it. This is the second and the last time that I was traded. It's a decision that I cannot control, and I just wanted to make good and you know, be good for this Alaska team that I used to play for. And again, it came with, you know, a different set of responsibilities. But, you know, like I said, that only made me a better person, made me a better player, made me a better leader. So that's how I looked at it. And, you know, it was fun because, you know, eventually we did find ways to win. And we won 2 while we were there. 2007 and 2010, my last year with them.
Yeah.
And when you went back to Alaska, you were playing lots of minutes still, Coach. Your first, you know, the first 3 of those 6 years, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But eventually, you know, things dwindled. In the last couple of years, you playing less and less. Did you start thinking about being like Jolas and Dicky and becoming an assistant?
You know, that's my question. I mean, when did the coaching bug bite you?
No, you know what, guys? I'm not gonna lie. That was never a thought.
Okay.
And I never, it wasn't never my intention. You know, even when, you know, my last couple of years of, again, playing more of that veteran role and wasn't playing as much minutes. So that's absolutely correct. It wasn't like, you know what, I think I'm going to get into coaching. It wasn't that. It was just me just, you know, trying to, at that point, I was still trying to prove to Coach Tim that I deserve to play more minutes. So I still
How old were you? How old were you then? 30?
I was about 34, 35.
34,
you know?
okay.
Yeah, 36, you know, because I retired 37, almost 38. So, you know, I was still trying to prove to him that, you know, I can play a few more minutes. I'm okay, you know, but, you know.
Yeah.
That's always the conflict.
So
good
di
thing
mo
So
by the time
just wear a necktie. You want to see more minutes?
Exactly.
Wear a necktie.
Yeah.
Ganun nga, so you weren't thinking about it, but then you went into it. That's really crazy. I mean,
I want to know how you got into it. I mean, I never we never talked. I gulat ko
We
na
never
lang
talked
one day.
about this. Well,
Yeah, we never
remember,
talked about this, and then you're a coach.
Yeah, between my 2 careers, so I've been blessed, man. I cannot express that enough. So I played 15 years. I took 1 year off, and I was in the States, and then I came back 2011, and I've been back ever since coaching. So I've had 2 careers, both still in the PBA, and like I said, I'm absolutely blessed, and I can't ask for anything more. But how that happened was Coach Tim really just giving me a call. So when he was moving from Alaska and made the jump to send me coffee, if I'm correct,
Yes,
That's
he
correct.
asked me to come with him. That's when he asked me. So was I expecting it? Absolutely not. But he gave me a call and said, I'm going to move teams. And I was like, what? Why? Why are you leaving Alaska? That was probably everyone's question, right? But he said, I'll tell you another time, but I'm going to be moving teams, and I'd like you to come on board as an assistant coach. And, I was like, wow. So, that's how that started.
Wow, man. So you just had a change of heart. Like, sounds interesting. Maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can. All right, what do you want me to do? Talk to the guy, I mean, to me, without sounding like, I was ready for it, because I'm, we're still learning as we go through it now.
Right.
I mean, just the natural leadership skills I think I had, being able to being able to talk to both locals and Fil-Ams. I think that's one. Understanding what it takes to be successful in the PBA. I would think I had that on under my belt. So I think that's what Coach Tim saw, and gave me an opportunity to just come on board, and then you'll slowly get into it and go from there. And
the first time you were a head coach, though, social media was pretty much in play already in 2014.
Right.
When you got into Ginebra. I remember you and I, we had, there was an out-of-town trip. I remember riding back with you from the airport, and you were saying how tough it was to be in Ginebra. We were in the same car, and you're saying how tough this job was being a head coach for Ginebra. Maybe you can share your thoughts on that. Your rookie year as a head coach, and it's with the most popular team in the league.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. First, how did that happen? And then tell us your thoughts about being there already.
So you remember that was the Grand Slam year of Sunday Coffee.
Correct.
Right.
And there's 2 conferences have gone by, and we won the championship. And then now we are gonna bring back Marcus Blakely, right, for that 3rd conference. And we're obviously you go for the Grand Slam. And there was a meeting that was set, and that's exactly what it was. They asked me to move over to Ginebra, and my first thought was, Coach Tim, do I have a choice here? Do I have a choice? Because 2 reasons. One, it's a little difficult to do it like, kind of in the middle of the season. And then number 2, I'd like to stay because I'd like to still be part of this Grand Slam team. Not every player or not everyone has an opportunity to win a Grand Slam as a player and as a coach. So I think eventually Johnny is the only one. Am I correct? I think Johnny was because he was with us, so he's the only one. But I wanted that, and and to make a long story short, it was pretty much I think you kind of don't have a choice, and they really want you to go over. And I tried to clear up and make sure parameters, protecting us and expectations were there. But you don't know what's hitting you until you really get there. And as much as it was again a learning experience, it was really tough.
I remember our conversation went something like, "You're getting bashed. I'm getting bashed on social media already for what's been happening." Yeah, something like that.
Right.
I mean, well, what kind of pressure was that, though? Being your first year's head coach, and then you get Ginebra.
And Ginebra na agad,
and you don't win.
Yeah.
Lots of expectations on you being in Ginebra.
Yeah. Well, at that point, again, being a first-time head coach, and I compare it to what kind of a coach I am now. Obviously, there's a big improvement. So, on how you process things, how you handle things. But really, one of the biggest challenges I think that was clear from the beginning is there's a lot of players on that team, right, that was towards the end of their career that I used to play against, that I used to compete against, and challenge night in and night out. And I'm not saying there wasn't a respect there, because there's always a mutual respect. But it's just one of those things where it's different, where you're a seasoned veteran coach and you're coming in, you're coaching a veteran team, because their team is always a veteran team, right? the San Miguel's, the Talking Texas, the Ginebras. They're always a veteran team. You know, they're never starting from scratch, and you know, especially the last 5, 8, 10 years. So that's what happened there, and they were really on the brink of doing something special. But I think what they needed at the time was really a more seasoned coach, and the struggle of not winning kind of put more pressure on everyone, and questions started to arise, and that was reality.
There was also one comment though that I'm sure you heard this before, and of course this is all ancient history. But when you came in wearing the tie in Ginebra, it said that's not our culture here. Was that an issue? Did you hear that? Did you hear that part?
Yeah, they asked me if we were gonna wear a tie. I wanted just to bring in what I guess what I was taught, right? So you bring in the idea of, this is the kind of coach that I'm going to be, where discipline is a primary foundation, where we talk a lot about, again, all the little thing and all the little thing that's going to help you win, right? So to hear that, I mean, I knew it was new, but it's one of those things where I didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but it ended up being a big deal.
Yep. People make big deals out of
because
things.
You have to remember, guys, that this was the social media era already. It was already
right.
Twitter was really on fire. Especially every time you look at Twitter, they're bashing Jeff Cariaso for everything, including the tie, right? I mean, it was a bad time because social media was still new, right?
Ganun na nga, yun. Nangyari. Okay ba? Coach, you still there?
Is it raining where you are? It's raining here.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
So hirap man ng time. But that didn't last, I mean, so you were out as Ginebra coach. Then you took some time off. What did you continue being an assistant after Ginebra? Did you revert to being an assistant with another team?
Yeah, so I went back to being an assistant coach. So sorry, I lost you for a little bit. So the connection was a little bad, but just to recap again, lots of learning experience, but it was a lot. It was a lot for a first year coach to be at that Ginebra team at that moment.
I agree.
With the guys that was there, and I didn't mean to kind of do things that was out of their comfort zone or not their culture. That wasn't the thought. It was really just kind of me trying to be me. But again, you learn, right? You learn that, hey man, this is what they're used to. Adjusting has to be part of it, and that was probably my biggest learning at the moment. But yeah, so I did continue. I happened to see Dickie Bachman so coincidentally at a mall, and he asked me how I was, and obviously we've been close, because we used to play together. But he asked me what my situation is or what's happening with Ginebra, and I'm like, you know what? At this point, I haven't heard anything yet, but again, it's been a struggle. So it's funny that I saw him at the mall, and I want to say, guys, like within the next couple of days, like news broke out that Ginebra is moving forward, and changing coaches, seeing that, was a surprise only because of this. And I'm going to take the opportunity to say this, and I say it with great respect. I just wish that I was told. I was told. But ganun, dapat sinasabihan niyo yung tao, like straight up, let us know, because I always try to be this way. It's it's always easier when it's good news, diba? But good news siya, kaya ako magsasabi, no problem, it's good news. But when it's bad news, then sometimes there's a struggle there, right? You point. So I like people to kind of be able to step up, especially at a management perspective, especially as a coach. When it's good news, say it. When it's bad news, say it, because the right thing to do. So yun lang. I wish I would have been told and not have read it and find out on on social media. So
Did you have to
but
call them? Did you have to call them and say, "What's this news?"
Yeah, what is
Or,
this?
or did they
I
eventually
called.
call you?
I called, and I'm being honest here. I called, but to no answer. To no answer. And then I get the secretary saying, "Coach, this is what's gonna happen. You have to return the car. You have
Oh,
to
shucks.
we'll finalize the contract here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right. Is there gonna be a final, at
Yeah.
least conversation, just so I know, and really just so for my improvement? What can I do better? What did you see?"
Yeah.
So that maybe that'll help me in my career, but nothing. It was really just kind of like,
Wow, that's wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And again, no drama. We're past it. We've learned to live with it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Obviously, you've all
a lot.
moved on. You've done a
Yeah,
lot since then.
that's exactly the truth.
But that's
And then,
crazy, and that reflects something. But anyway, that's the topic for a different day, I suppose.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
But then you find
first-
yourself back at Alaska,
yeah,
just like that. You're back.
yeah,
Yeah.
Alaska. So
And-
you're tied to Alaska forever.
I
Somehow.
know.
Yeah, I am. Well, what's funny, guys, is there are people who actually think that I played for Alaska like my whole career. Like they don't even know that
Right, that's true.
the in between. But thank you to Bus Fred and the Bus Deacon for giving me the opportunity to be an assistant coach under Coach Alex. Learned a lot there, obviously, and it's just again happy to be there. It was a good environment, positive. We were winning, but we're always
One short.
yeah, one win away. But that actually I learned so much during that stint, and I never regret going back.
But now you're with Alex Compton. It's just a different story altogether because Alex has a completely different philosophy with regards to coaching, and you're practically the same age, I would think, with Alex, right?
Yeah.
Mas bata sa amin. Mas bata sa amin si Alex ng konti, di
Oh,
ba?
mas bata lang
Yeah.
ng konti. Pero yun na nga, I mean, what was it like now with Alex Compton and a whole new different Alaska group? I mean, you see, like
Yeah.
Abu Tracker's there, right? It's a different Alaska group.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But so the core guys are still there when I got there. JV was there. Eric Mink was there. Sonny Toss still there.
Yep.
Vic Manuel still there. So they had a good core. They had a really good core. And to me, at that point, I just wanted to continue learning, and whatever it is that Coach Alex wanted me to do, I did. And he had me focus a lot on the guards, with that being my position. And, not just with the drills, but also just the way I talk to them and prepare them mentally. So he gave me that freedom to be able to talk to these guards. And yeah, I love that. Obviously, you pay attention with all the other stuff because now you're in a room and you're talking about, everything. And that only improves you as a coach.
And then you inherit the team in 2019.
That's right. You get the head coaching job, and there you are again. You're at the helm of your old team, trying to win, and all of that. And and I'm sure it felt strange for you, but another challenge para sa'yo, di ba?
I mean, go back to 1995 when you were a rookie with Alaska, and then you move over to 2019 and see this picture of you. I mean, did you ever think in your wildest dreams when you were a rookie in the PBA that you would wind up becoming the head coach of the team that drafted you?
Right. Absolutely not. Like
No way, right?
No way, di ba?
No effing way, no.
Right. Yeah, exactly, Charlie. But guys, think about it. Like what a journey. And then I keep saying it, but what a blessing, right? I mean, to have that opportunity. Again, not a lot, amongst all the players, all the wonderful players, great players who played for Alaska, no one was able to do what I did, was to play for them and to eventually coach them.
Right.
I really took that to heart. Yeah.
And no one will anymore because they're gone.
Yeah, no,
Right.
You will go down in history, Jeff, as the last coach of Alaska.
Right. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I'm sad that we had to, lose the team.
Yeah. Right.
Because
right.
that was
they didn't fold because of you. Okay, it wasn't you who made it fold.
Well, yeah.
I want to make that clear.
Yeah. It'll go down in the history book. Last entry for head coach is Jeff Cariaso, 2019 to
Right.
2022, and then
Right,
that's it.
the last coach.
Yeah.
So I wanted
Yeah.
so bad to try to win one, before going out. But again, it's one of those things where, it's at the end of the day, there's still a business component that we cannot control.
It's never always in your hands, right?
Yeah, when
Right.
Boss Fred Uitangsu told you, Jeff, we're shutting it down. Well, what was your reaction?
I was like, why? We're just kind of starting, at least with me. It's only been a couple of years, and is there anything we could do? So, at that point, you could ask all the whys you want, but again, those are decisions made by the people above us that we cannot control. But
how did Fred Uitangsu tell you that it was going to be shut down? I mean, in his words to you,
if I recall exactly how it happened, Boss Dicky was already giving me feelers, so he was already kind of telling me to prepare. Something could happen. I know he kept it a secret for a while, but when he let it out and told me just to prepare, then I knew that it's inevitable and it's going to happen. We knew that it was going to be the last conference, prior to the last conference. Mm-hmm. And then Boss Fred just kind of sat us down and told us, as much as he regrets losing the team, but it was time. It was time.
Right. And then all good things come to an end. Everything comes to an end.
Yeah.
So, the end of an era there. But then let's go to the last photo.
There you are.
Wow.
In purple.
So you inherit. You're the first coach. So you were the last coach of Alaska, first coach for Converge.
Yeah.
For a season, and then now you're the Blackwater coach. How different is it? How different are players from 2014 when you first coached to now? Is there a difference in how they are, their attitudes and all that?
There is. There really is. Players now are skilled. There's no question there. There's talent there. They're doing things now that they weren't even thinking about 10 years ago. So that's fair to say, especially, during the time I was playing. But again, your typical questions on kids, the younger generation now and how they're treated and their expectations, that still applies and that'll carry over to the profession that they're choosing. And right now, as basketball players, it's really the same. So a lot of them, you have to kind of be careful on how you talk to them. You have to approach them in a manner where they understand where you're coming from, and you have to build that relationship first. If not, then you're just gonna absolutely, I guess I feel like you lose the players. You have to kind of tiptoe.
Is it a Gen Z thing? I mean, tell me, because I'm having problems with this Gen Z thing. It's a Gen Z thing, right?
It's part of it. It really
it's a generational thing for sure, partly.
Yeah, it really is.
Or
But
mostly.
at the end of the day, what we do is, I always say, what we do is unique and special. So that how we were brought up and how we were taught, how hard, Coach Tim was, Coach Chot was, I love and still, I never played for him, but I follow Coach Yang and his approach, that's still as old as it was, during the early days of the PBA. That's still necessary now, regardless of the generation. And now it's just really just striking more of that balance. So hindi pwede mawala yun. You being strict and you pushing them to the limit. You got to be firm and you got to try to get the best out of your players. And sometimes you got to tiptoe, but sometimes you it's just flat out. You need to let them know, and that's coaching. That's part of coaching.
I think I see the players now. I see how things go because we cover the games. I see a lot of moody. I see a lot of moody players. They got mood swings like crazy. Right? Coach Jeff will agree.
No, Jeff. I'm still running a sports broadcasting academy. I have to talk to these newcomers now. These 2000 and onwards people differently from the way I talked to when Charlie was my student. It's different. Right. It's completely different now. So
Correct.
It's a good thing I'm on your side.
It's a continuous learning process because Jeff has said
Yeah.
it a couple of times. You just keep learning everything, etc., etc. Yeah, but that's how it is.
Right.
Yeah, well, I don't want to dwell into that, but we wish you the best of luck along the way in coaching, because it seems like for our guy who was reluctant, didn't even think about coaching, looks like you're in for the long haul, coach.
Oh man, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. There is a different challenge and pressure, but it's what we signed up for, and I'm for it. Like I'm kind of going at it, and that's how I'm approaching it. And
Yeah, so
like,
that bug has poisoned you, has bitten you.
yeah. We're doing our best daily. Right now I'm happy with the opportunity here at Blackwater. The support from management has been great. They're basketball lovers. They love the sport, and I'm trying to do them justice by molding this team into a competitive team.
Well, the true fans really want to see you guys succeed. That's the truth. We want those teams who are not doing so well. We want that's why this conference. A lot of people were happy that Raynor shines in the semis. Northport made it, but at the end of the day, it's same old. It's same old. It's going to be TNT Ginebra again.
Right in the finals.
No, but the thing is, Coach Jeff already pointed it out. Those are the teams with the veterans anyway. So like they know how to win more than the younger teams, and that's a learning process also for the younger teams.
Yeah. But I know it's been 2 hours, more than 2 hours. So much more to talk about.
Wow,
let's rapid fire already. Now let's remove the pick and let's talk to Coach Jeff. Topic number one, the Jet. You've been called the Jet.
Yeah.
When did that start, and what's that all about? Who gave it to you?
Again, early in my career, I guess my strength at the time was taking off, right? Getting to the basket, getting to the cup. So I guess that takeoff was, similar to the Jet. I mean, me running the sidelines while Johnny brings down the ball, right? I'm running at the top of my, how fast as I could, was probably part of that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was Canito. I think it was Canito.
Was it?
Must have been.
Okay.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
So one of the Canito nicknames that stuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk to Jason Terry though.
Right. You know what's funny? Quick story at a NBA a junior NBA event in China. I saw Kenny Smith. So Kenny Smith was there. He's also the Jet. So the person who introduced us from the Philippines said, Kenny, this is the Jet from the Philippines. Just kind of wanted to meet you because you're also the Jet. And that was kind of like an no, I think he was a little bit better player.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
Nice. So you share the nickname, but here in the Philippines, you're the Jet. Everyone knows that you're the Jet. Okay, you wanted to ask something, Noel. You put it in the comment.
I did.
You need to because I'm gonna flash something on the screen and then you can start talking about it.
Jeff, there's been talk about the 50 greatest already. They're gonna add 10 more names to that list, and your name's been coming up every now and then. I'm sure you feel exhilarated that your name is in there, but your thoughts on you being in there, your chance of being in there, how big it would be for you, and would you actually include yourself in the next 10 names?
Wow.
Look at the accomplishments. Look at those accomplishments, guys.
I'm showing people. Some people are picking somebody over you, but guys, look at this first. Come on.
Yeah.
Huh? 10-time All-Star. Come on.
Yeah. That's okay, right? That's a decent career there, right? I would say.
Wow.
Yeah. Guys, I appreciate the question. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, who would not want to be part, right, of the 50 greatest? I would love that. To me, I think that would be such a tremendous honor. I think that really is that last kind of honor. Culminating my career. Describing my career. So. I think in regards to numbers and achievements, I think it's fair to say that mine is pretty decent, right? I'm not bad in regards to that. Would I put myself there? Noel, you asked.
If you were part of the selection committee,
absolutely.
You would.
If it was me,
there you go.
Like, he's in there. But at the end of the day, guys, I can't control that. I hope they see. I'm curious on the selection process. So I hope I know it's a little different as we since when we started. I just want this to be sort of hopefully a continuous thing, where where guys are honored yearly and sort of like the NBA Hall of Fame. But I don't know if we can get to that. Yeah.
But we're working on reviving the Hall of Fame. So let's see.
Right. No, my follow-up question to that is, all right, Jeffrey Cariaso's in. Who are the other 9 in your opinion? Did you make a list in your head already?
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
yeah,
How would you know?
To be honest, and I'm gonna leave the guys that played before me to the guys that know that generation. So
Right,
I
You
know
got
guys like
Junmar and
Kid.
Scotty. Junmar and
fair.
Scotty are shoo-ins already.
Yeah,
So you
Junmar
just got
Scotty, that's a shoe
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Even if they're still playing, right? So that's another.
Yeah.
Yeah,
guys,
because they won the MVP. So
okay. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
no
I don't really agree with that automatically you're in, but that's the
Right.
criteria I think they're
That's
having.
the
that if you're
criteria.
an MVP,
Then
you're in.
we'll follow there. But the
Yeah.
guys that in my era that I played against, for sure, and it's been in the papers. But Nelson was a stud. Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
sir.
I can't.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Crazy wasn't there already.
My teammate Bong Hawkins, no
Ball
question.
Hawkins. Yeah.
I think Olsen needs to be there.
Mhm.
Olsen Marcella. Gosh.
How about
There's-
Dynamite?
Oh, for sure.
Dynamite.
Oh, yeah. Danny, yes. Oh, yeah. I know he was plagued with injuries a little bit, right? Towards the second half
Yeah.
of his career. But what a player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy that'll change any team he plays for. He's that guy. That's why he
If he played in 2002 in the Asian Games,
Oh yeah. Right. He broke
Right.
his foot, right?
he got
Yeah.
he snapped his Achilles. Snapped his Achilles.
Yeah.
Right. Before we left to go there.
Before you left, that's right.
Yeah,
Before we left to
exactly.
go. And then we forgot to mention, guys, and connected. I know I didn't make it in 94 and 98, but I
Yes.
did make it in 2002.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. We didn't even talk
No,
about
we,
that.
we skipped that part. No, I would just want to go back to that Lee Sang-min shot. That
Yeah,
Korea,
man.
we had Korea. Jeff.
I
Come on,
remember
we
you
had
in the
Korea.
scene
Yeah.
when he made
We
the
had
shot,
them.
man.
We had them
Yeah.
right there. And then Lee Sang-min, Don Ontiveros taps the ball.
Right.
It goes straight to Lee Sang-min, and then he makes
Right.
that miracle shot. What was going through? We had them, man. We had them.
Right.
We were up 2. We had them. What was going through
Right.
your mind when that shot went up?
Man, again, aside from praying that it doesn't go in, I was like, I was thinking, come on, that's a tough shot. Pretty much just
Contested.
praying that it doesn't go in. But again, when you look back, you got to look to before that, right? And I'm not even just talking about the free
Missed
throws.
free throws. Yeah.
I want to go back to how he was fouled, the inbound before that.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
My thought was like, and it didn't matter. And this was the whole tournament. There's been a couple times where other teams needed to foul. And to me, it didn't matter who they fouled. If they fouled me, if they fouled Olsen, it didn't matter. Because I was confident. Olsen's confident, obviously. Good free throw shooter. But during that last one, I remember really just running to the ball and being slightly open and asking for it because I knew they were going to foul. And I wanted to put myself in that position. But then when they passed it to Olsen and they fouled Olsen, I'm like, all right, no worries, we're good. And again, things happen, and there's no one to blame. We all lost that together. But just what a story for me, I guess, individually as a national team player to finally make it after not making it the 2 times. And quickly the joke was the first time. It was like a week before. So when 98 came, I'm like, okay, I got on the plane and I made it there, but I didn't make the final lineup. So in 2002, I was like, okay, a week. Okay, I'm good. Okay, we get on the plane, we get there. I'm like, not until that finalist comes out, I'm not going to be relaxed. And when I made it,
Right.
that's when I was happy.
So who'd they cut? Who'd they cut that? Yeah, who'd Coach John cut?
I think we knew, if I'm not mistaken, I think we knew prior to us leaving.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
So
I
it was
said,
already Only
Yeah,
the
we
12
know
went.
already.
Yeah, because Mick Penisi made the team and hardly played, right? Mick
Say it
Penisi
again.
made the team and he hardly played.
Right.
No, but
Right.
that's really crazy that we forgot to even talk about that earlier. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
No, that's
yeah.
okay. Okay. I just
No, but
remember
you know, but galing that you made it. That would have been nice to talk about that. The two missed ones and then you made it. But then
Yeah.
but sorry, they killed us at the buzzer and
Right.
damn,
Crazy.
that was really
Crazy.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
then we just
Alam
had
mo,
no energy.
bitin tong kwentuhan natin with Coach
Kaya
Jeff.
nga,
It's
no.
like
Let's,
it's like
let's
past
push it.
12,
Let's push it.
man.
I know Aaron's sleepy already, but we're gonna push it a little more. Here's a great question. I need to put it. If there was a different team you could have played for during the 90s aside from Alaska, what team or teams would
Hey,
you?
you
Oh,
stole my
wow.
question, man. Come on.
That's
Wow.
That's my
Chiclet asked
question.
that. Chicletin mo,
My
baby.
question.
Good question. Gosh, Dennis was with Santa Lucia. Kenneth was with Sunkist.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'd answer that by saying I'd first want to be separate from those guys because we had our own kind of
Thing going on.
goal
Yeah.
and trying to lead our own team. I don't know. Maybe Shell. Shell
That's a
was
good
in
answer.
Wow.
That's a good
Okay.
answer. That's a
Wow,
really good
okay.
answer.
because again, I knew they were managed well. I knew they had a good coaching staff.
Mhm.
They're always in the brink. We played them in the finals actually. So yeah, I'd probably say them.
Okay, that's great.
Right,
And it really shows also that you didn't grow up in the Philippines. Weren't familiar too much with the basketball in the 80s. All the other guys we've asked
Yeah.
that question, they want to play for Ginebra.
Right.
It's always Ginebra,
Right.
because their
Right.
parents were probably for Ginebra, or they saw that.
Can I answer that, Charlie? Can I?
Yeah.
Can I
Okay.
comment
Go.
that?
Go.
I've gotten so used to, playing against Ginebra and San Miguel and like my whole career. I was always on the opposite side, always. So it was really, again, that different feeling to actually be coaching them, right?
Yeah.
So we discussed that already. But the reason why you like playing against the most popular team is because my motivation was 100% of the people watching, 90%, it's safe to say that they were all cheering for Ginebra San Miguel. Our little 10% was behind the bench or a little bit behind the court side, right? So my motivation is to make sure 90% go home sad and because we beat them.
I get you. I'm sure you're not alone in that. It's a bunch of guys.
Like that famous Larry Bird quote, "Suffer, baby, suffer."
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Right.
all fun and games, and it was just amazing just to be able to compete against them.
One of the things, of course, that happened at the PBA is you actually got to meet one of our courtside reporters.
Oh yeah.
That's part of the journey, isn't it, Charlie?
That
Of
really
course, I
is.
think it's part of the journey.
That really
Yeah, we
is.
lost-
Is she watching? Is she watching now?
We lost a pretty
It's
good
actually-
courtside reporter because Jeff Cariaso stole her.
Yeah,
Tell us about that. I mean, you're retired already now, but now that you're with
Yeah.
Erica, it's a completely
Yeah.
new episode of your career.
Right.
Tell us about the present
I
Cariaso
was,
household now.
at that time, I was single again. So, I had previously been, I was divorced maybe 3 years prior to me meeting her, 3 or 4 years, right? And then, I was unexpected. She only talks to head coaches. So, and she admitted this to me. So it wasn't until I became the head coach of Ginebra where she spoke to me. And her side is when she spoke to me, she was like, "Oh, okay, this is how he talks," and he's got a good head on his shoulder, or whatever, something to that nature.
This should
And
be
I
your
go,
background music right now. We need some
No,
background.
Yeah,
I actually still have photos of the proposal, by the way.
Okay, go. Go ahead, coach.
And then we just started talking more, and then I don't know, I forgot. We like I said, I wasn't brave enough to go talk to her in that manner. But when she would come up to me, coach, medyo torpe na konti, when she was a head coach, when I was a head coach, then that's when she'll speak to me. So we'll talk basketball. And then I
Lakas
happened
ng
to see
dating ni
her.
Erica eh.
Oo.
And then I saw her at Shangri-La Mall because we're having the opening of our Titan store in
Okay.
Shangri-La Mall. And I asked her to come to the opening. And she did. And then the rest is history.
Right,
Wow.
right. Speaking of Titan, there was a comment
Yeah,
earlier.
talk about that. Yeah, talk about that, Titan. I've
Sure.
bought shoes from
Yeah,
you a
yeah,
bit, and then I had a haircut there once
no, so,
also.
Yeah.
someone's
different
asking,
branches. There
may,
you go.
may paraffle po ba sa Titan at the end of the
Di
show?
naman yan yung tanong ko eh.
Nagpaparaffle. Nagpaparaffle si Jun.
We can work that out. I
No,
really don't.
but talk about the Titan
Yeah,
stores
shortly,
and when
yeah.
you came up with it, and now you're an official uniform provider of the PBA as well. I mean, how did it evolve?
Yeah, to be honest with you, much credit to my partners at Titan and specifically Dennis Tan. So very good friend of mine, Ninong of my son, or is it my daughter? Anyway, he's Ninong. He used to work for Nike Philippines. And this is why I always tell athletes, if you are blessed enough to be sponsored by a brand, take care of the relationship. Why? Because they're supporting you by outfitting you and giving you the shoes necessary for you to play in, and you can give them that respect back by, again, just building relationship, talking to them, seeing them, being available for guesting. Anyway, so that's how I got to know Dennis at the time and became very close. And then he had this one idea that he threw at me, and this is after years of working for Nike and eventually Nike Singapore. He had this great idea in 2009 that he wanted to open up our own shoe store that's pretty much dedicated only to basketball. Think about it. There's never been a shoe store in the Philippines that's dedicated just to strictly basketball.
Right.
So, and then / there's a barbershop. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Why is there a barbershop? And
Yeah.
that uniqueness, it was interesting, and it came to life in 2010, the year I was retiring, and it's become such a blessing. And at that point, we've never thought that it would turn into what it is now. Obviously, after 15 years, you learn a lot, and it has developed to where it is now, with the outfitting and with the collabs that we have. Never imagined that we'd have 6-7 stores, and we just opened one in Cebu. Our first out of Manila, out of Luzon, store is in Cebu. And yeah, it's just a group of guys who love the sport, who love basketball, and everything about basketball is Titan.
I was waiting for you to cut my hair when I was at Titan. Because Rodney Santos, remember, Rodney Santos cuts hair before, right?
No, but good luck the rest of the way with Titan as well. So you're successful on the court, off the court. So it's been great. It's been great for you, Coach.
It's been good. It's been good. There's a learning experience on both.
What's your greatest PBA moment? Your number one moment? Your PBA in your PBA career?
Been a few, to be honest with you.
Top of head,
again,
top of mind.
just we could talk about the accolades. We could talk about the championships. We could talk about the heartbreaks and us being able to kind of find a way to stand up again and keep pushing.
Jersey retirements too.
A couple jersey retirement, Coke and Alaska. That's been great. I'd like to say the reason why you're able to accomplish some things is because there's a moment where you kind of know and feel that you're at a different level or you're playing at a different level, and there's always people behind that helps you with that. And obviously it's the coaches, right? It's your family, friends that's around you. I want to say that. I want to, as general as that may be, I want to say that because
I get it.
Because that allows you to play at an elite level, and everything follows. Everything follows. You signed up to be a basketball player, So be the best that you can. Are there lots of good ones? Of course. Better ones, of course. But you do your best to try to be you, and then that helped me, continue, building and growing and winning.
Nice.
At the end of the day, you need to win. And I shared this with the Blackwater team the other day. It's our obligation to win. It's our
Tama.
obligation.
Agree. I agree.
We're all
with that.
rooting for you, Coach.
Yes, we are. We are. We really are.
Genuinely rooting for you.
Yeah, thank you so
We-
much.
No, I have one last, Charlie. I know
sige.
we're running late. I just have
Yeah,
one
before we
last.
jump.
When did you finally decide it's time to walk away from the game? It's time. Because Jimmy had a great story. He just woke up one day and said, "It's time." Was it the case with you?
Yeah.
Jimmy said, "It's time."
Yeah. No, similarly. Yeah. What always stuck with me was I wanted to go out on my own terms. I wanted to be the one to say that it's time and not let, the team or the league or the fans. I wanted it to come from me. And I did that. And I did. I honestly believe in 2010, I still could have played one more year, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that. And would my role have been the same? Probably, whatever, play 10, 12 minutes, if that, be a leader, But to me, I wanted to end my career where I was the one that would say, okay, it's time. You're not playing at that level that you used to play in. So, move forward, go on to your next career. And then that's what I did.
Amen. That's a great story. It's a great career, man.
Astig. Pasok na tayo. Let's enter our final segments of this
It's one of
show.
the longest episodes we've ever had.
Exactly.
That's it. Right. We're trying to beat the #1 episode.
Right. So this is
should
the
be up
Twilight
there.
Zone, and when we're in the Twilight Zone, that means we're about to end, but we can't end without doing our segments. The first segment
Right.
of the Twilight Zone is called X's or O's. It's brought to us by Tuminugan Farm. It's situated in the heart of Bukidnon that grows locally sourced organic products like coffee, adlay, and turmeric capsules. Plus, it provides nature-filled accommodations for a peaceful, eco-friendly getaway, whether you're looking to enjoy their cozy accommodations or discover their high-quality farm products. Tuminugan Farms offers an authentic farm-to-table experience. Be sure to check them out for a refreshing escape and a taste of nature's best. TuminuganFarm.com. What are you waiting for? Start your Mindanao adventure there today. Napakaganda po dyan. Pumunta po kayo. So for X's or O's, Coach, I've got a list. I've got a list of choices. I'm going to ask you to choose. You don't have to explain why you chose it. I'm not trying to make you any enemies here or whatever, but I hope you can make choices. You can say tie, but I hope you don't say tie too many times.
Too much.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, okay?
All right.
Let's go.
All
right.
I really, tagal ko rito sa dami nga ng teammates mo and everything. Okay. Number 1, Pat Davis or Leon Goldsboro?
That's a good opening.
From Sonoma
Pat
State.
Davis.
Pat Davis, okay. Barry Haskins or Quentin Hollis?
Barry Haskins.
Okay, Barry Haskins. These are his teammates at Sonoma State. Okay.
Yeah.
Tenorio or Abarientos?
Oh gosh.
Humirap na local eh. Humirap na local.
Johnny.
But he's in the talk with LA's in the talk with Johnny, so that's enough.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the fact that they're compared. Okay, Jolas or Willie Miller, leaping ability.
Well, what ability? Sorry.
Leaping ability, the jumping, the high
Leaping?
flying. Yeah, Miller or
Jolas.
Jolas.
Yeah.
Jolas. Okay. Bong Hawkins or Tony De La Cruz?
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's tough.
Baseline jumper,
This
baseline
is
jumper.
my first tie. My first tie.
Tayo, okay.
Tayo na.
Poch Huino or Sonny Toss?
Oh gosh. Sunny toss.
Sonny Toss. Cyrus Baguio or Larry Fonasher?
Skyrus.
Skyrus.
Guys.
June Reyes or Topex Robinson?
June Reyes.
June Reyes. Ruel Gomez or Dondon Ontiveros?
Done.
Don. Mga Bisaya. Eric Menk or Andy Siegel?
Ooh, gosh. Andy Siegel.
Andy Siegel, okay. Tim Cone or Chot Reyes?
Sorry, did you say Tim Cone?
Tim Cone or Chot Reyes?
Oh gosh, Tim Cone.
Tim Cone. Kevin Ramas or Reynel Hugnatan?
Reno.
Papa Ray.
Nick Velasco or Joe Devance?
Uy.
That's close. I'm gonna say Nick.
That's what I do. Make him
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
Okay. How about this? Jumbo Bolado or Samige Eman?
Oh gosh, I'll say Jumbo.
Jumbo.
R.I.P. Jumbo.
Okay. Ervin Soto or Giovanni Pineda?
Gosh.
Outside shooting big
Irvs.
guys.
Irvin.
Herbs.
Daddy Nikay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike Burtser or Brandon Cablay?
Oh, Brandon Cablay.
Okay. Diamond Simpson or Sean Chambers?
Oh gosh, that's a tie.
Oh.
That's a
Oh, really?
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's
I
a
thought it would be
Jumbo.
Sean Chambers hands down. Okay.
Yeah.
So Diamond, you guys were close to. Okay.
Diamond is special too, but yeah, I don't have to explain the.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
That's
Let's
right.
show-
No, it's it.
Yeah.
Tony Boy Espinosa or Jason Webb?
Tony Boy.
Tony Boy. Merwin Castelo. I had fun making this one. Mervin Castelo or Patrick Fran? They're like the
Oh,
same
that's
guy, right? Aren't they
That's
like the
tough.
same player?
That's tough.
They're cut from the same mold.
That's
Yep.
a tie.
That's a
Okay,
tie.
That's
Okay.
tie. Sorry.
I will respect
Understandable.
that because even for me, it's like
Understandable. Yeah, that's hard.
Eric Menk or Asi Taulava?
Gosh,
I'm
Eric. Man.
killing you. Sorry, Eric Menk.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Derek Pumaren or Eric Altamirano?
Coach Derek.
Coach Derek. Okay. Larry Robinson or Rosell Ellis?
Rosell Ellis.
Rosell Ellis. Turkin Mott or T. McClary?
T. McLaren.
T.
Yeah, he's
McClary.
funny.
Estong Ballesteros or Eddie Laure? The lefties.
Parehong kaliwete.
Oh, parehong kaliwete.
Eddie Lau.
Eddie Lau. Dale Singson or Leo Avenido?
Ooh, tough. I'll give it to Papa Dale.
Papa Dale, all right.
There you
Eric Reyes or Freddy Abuda?
Oh, Eric Reyes.
Eric Reyes, your buddy. Okay. Ito. Greatest of all time, Mon Fernandez or Junmar Fajardo?
Gosh. Junmar.
Junmar. Okay. That's valid. Okay. Offense or defense?
What do you mean? Oh, just that doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Offense or defense?
defense.
Defense. Okay.
Defense.
Pull-up jumper or slash to the hoop?
Last to the hoop.
Slash to the hoop. Okay. What's this? Lakers or Celtics?
Celtics.
Yes,
Celtics.
sir. Yes, sir.
Johnson. But Magic Johnson. So that's okay.
Except when Magic was playing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How about this? Olsen Racela or Dean Dopumaren?
Oh, Olsen.
Olsen. Okay. And then this is the toughest one. And Erica, do not complain about this. Please show the photo, Aaron.
With disclaimer.
Gretchen Barreto, Alice Dixon, Kring Gonzalez, or Don Zulueta?
I'm choosing the one that's not there, Erica Padilla.
Wow, what a choice.
Come on,
She's
man.
in the room, isn't she? She's in the room, right?
No,
Is she
she's
giving
not.
you? Is she giving you
She's
the
not.
eye right now?
No, she's not.
She's standing behind the monitor, isn't she?
No.
So you'll pass on these four, and then Erica. That's the
Erica
answer.
Padilla. Yes.
Oh my gosh! I will allow it for this episode only. Okay, that's
I would have
Exeter
chosen
All-Star,
Robin. I would have chosen Robin
episode
Padilla. Actually.
247. Mr. Zarate, your question.
Okay,
please.
I actually have two questions, Jeff. My first question is, if your wish was granted on draft day that you had been drafted instead of Brian Punsalan going to San Miguel, it was Jeffrey Cariaso going to San Miguel, would that have changed Jeffrey Cariaso's career? Your wish was to play for San Miguel, and you get it. You're number 5
I
overall.
didn't want to say my wish was to play for them.
Mhm.
My
You were expecting it.
I thought,
Expectation, yeah.
I was kind of assuming because that's what we were told. So I would say, would that have changed my career? I guess I'd say, hopefully no. Like in regards to my growth and my development, hopefully no. They would have a couple older veterans too, just like, Jho Jho and Johnny Jho Jho and Bong. But I would think in regards to my path or winning championships, that you don't know, right? But to answer your question, I'll say no. I would hope not. Yeah.
Okay. And my second question is more of a use your imagination on this. If you could have dinner with any basketball personality, living or dead, past or present, foreign or local, who would it be? One time to have dinner with anybody, even if he's passed away already. What would you talk about, and who would it be?
Honestly, one basketball personality. Honestly, I think it would have to be Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Yeah, we've had that before. What were you talking about with MJ?
I'm sure that's a popular answer, but just he played at a high level at a time where, again, the NBA was tough to play in, right? But he also reached an era where towards the second half of his career, where again the style of play started to change. Guys were a lot more athletic, a lot more better players, and he still played at a high level. So I guess I'd love to pick his brain on again, just everything, approach, how we saw things, thoughts, ideas, what motivated him, stuff like that.
And you're gonna share why you wore the number 22 to him, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, you know why I wore 22? Because I'm right under you.
But you're not like Kobe. Kobe's one up.
Yeah, Kobe's one better than Jordan.
Yeah.
Even on the Olympic team, Jordan wore 9, Kobe wore 10. He's always one up.
Yeah, he's always one up. That's
All right.
nice.
No, thanks, Jeff. Those are great answers. Charlie.
Okay, and our last portion. Hello, Porky. This is the greetings portion I told you about, Coach Jeff. So it's your time to thank, acknowledge, shout out to anyone you'd like to. You can do it right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. I promise not to take 20 minutes. But I really appreciate this, guys. I'm enjoying being here. To be able to be here and talk to you guys really means a lot. So thank you for the invitation and having me. To be honest, who I'd like to thank first and foremost, and probably the only person I'd like to thank. I hope I don't disappoint you, but I just really want to thank God for this. Thank God for the opportunities that I had in my careers. This process is still ongoing, and He's still blessing me with a lot of things. I want to thank God for the people He's instilled in my life, right? To be able to do the things that I have in the past and still continue doing now as a coach. So, we all know that that's Him, placing me in the right spot and being there for me during the hard times. When you think about everyone that's been part of a team, whether you're the ball boy, whether you're management and everything in between, from your teammates to coaches, everyone has been, such a phenomenal, I guess, blessing to what I've able to achieve and the things I've been able to do. So I want to thank everyone there. It's hard. I don't want to miss anyone out, so I'm going to be general. There's been so many people, family, friends, even the ones here in the Philippines, and especially the ones in the States. My dad. Everyone has been my support group has been really solid, and that's something that I cannot do without. But if there are specific people that I'd like to thank, and after saying all that, it really is my family. My family is number one. Erica has been just awesome, and she's the love of my life, and I really appreciate her support and her love. And then my kids, just the understanding that Dad's always working, and his mind may be floating while we're together because I'm thinking about plays and and defenses. But I'd like to thank them. Secondly, after thanking God for all the blessings and all the people He's introduced in my life, I want to say thank you to my family, specifically Jay, Aya King, Jed, and Stella, just for their love and support. So, keeping it simple.
Nice. And we thank you for sharing your stories with us today, Coach Jeff. Maraming salamat. We could go on another hour, I'm sure, but we had to condense a bit of the chats about stuff. But that's the way it
no
goes.
worries.
Maybe you can come back sometime and we'll talk about
anytime you
topics,
want
so,
me. I'm on board. Just tell me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Noel. Thank you, Charlie.
Man, we're going 240 now, and one of our longer episodes, one of the longest.
This is one of the longest ever.
But it really is. So
that just means I talk too much, man. That's all.
Man. No, there's just so much to talk about your career.
I'm telling you.
So that's the Jeff Cariaso story, episode 247 of AEOB is now in the books. Imagine 247. We're getting to 250 soon. Okay, so dyan pa rin kami. So bago kami umalis, gusto namin lang ipaalala sa lahat, we are part of the Globally Ballin Network, and please continue to support Globally Ballin as well. And so we are powered by San Miguel Corporation in cooperation with Tuminugan Farm. Please support Tuminugan Farm. We thank the PBA Archives, Basketball Diaries, and Sports Bureau for always helping us out with information and photos. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. And who had birthdays in the past week from our AEOB family? It's the birthday today of Mr. Hubert Filipinas, the first Pinoy to play in the Australian Professional League. And of course, he has not been our guest, but we wish him a happy birthday. Sonny Jaworski, happy birthday today, Big J.
Big J.
Okay, tapos, so dyan nagtatapos nga ang ating episode 247. The question now is, we'll see. Will Jeff Cariaso be in the PBA's top 50? We will find out soon. Okay? Yeah. So that's it. Maraming salamat, Coach Jeff. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nanood at nagstay throughout the entire 245 already that we've been here. For Noel Zarate, I'm Charlie Cuna. Of course, Sid Ventura and Jay Mercado are always with us in spirit. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Coach Jeff, all the best and we'll see you soon.
Babuhay, Coach
Thank you
Jeff.
so much. God bless you all, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend. Coach, ingat.
Ingat.
All
Good
right.
luck.
Bye. Thanks, Aaron.
A leader in key sectors so vital to the growth of our nation. Food, beverage, packaging, infrastructure, energy, and power. Proudly Filipino, through our well-loved brands, we carry the flag overseas. Yet we've always held out for ourselves a larger purpose. To use our scale, size, and dynamism to deliver products and services that can unlock and accelerate new opportunities for growth and drive our economy forward. We are committed to contribute to a resilient and globally competitive Philippines, where businesses like San Miguel can use their resources and imagination to expand the economy and ensure that prosperity is widely shared. Today, our focus is on generating investments and projects that will enable our country to achieve its full promise. Malasakit is woven into all that we do, from ensuring that more Filipinos are food secure, have access to reliable, sustainable, and affordable energy, world-class roads, airports, mass transit, stronger communities, and greater economic opportunities. We are helping build the Philippines that can carry our 110 million strong population into a future whose defining challenges of our time will be an energy transition, resource scarcity, and the need for greater inclusiveness. As a company, we have set our sights on building the nation of our dreams by leveraging our expertise, leadership, and reach. As San Miguel, we will do what it takes to build a better future for all Filipinos.